দিতে হবে না বাইকের উপর নামটা লিখে তো প্রমোশন করার জন্য দাঁড়াও এরপর আগে নামটা স্টিকার করব
I feel like for the most, I think at least for me, the rotations are really good. And
গাইস তোমরা এখানে কিছু বুঝবে না ঠিক আছে বাংলাদেশ থেকে RHK 12 কোটি একটা টুর্নামেন্টে এখানে অফিশিয়াল লাইভ হচ্ছে ঠিক আছে তোমরা এনজয় করো এখানে ম্যাচ শেষে এরা কি বলছে তোমরা বুঝবে না বাংলাদেশে যে কারা আমরা বুঝবে না ঠিক আছে
আমি ওই নাইমবার কাছে দিছিলাম না বললো হচ্ছে তোমার ওই কলারের কথা বললাম বললো কলার তো আনি নাই শনিবার দিন আসতাছি বললো টাকা দিবি
because our format it's probably all about it you know you need to get that boy so it's good
তোমার পরীক্ষা মরিকা চলছে তো এজন্য আমি আর কিছু বলিনি পরীক্ষা চলছে
eliminations and get the boy and everything so I think virtual
ঠিক আছে কালকে ডাকতে বল ভাই একদম প্রত্যেকদিন
for it.
We'll have to see if the momentum is going to carry for that team because we've seen in the past if you grab that Riga, all of a sudden mentally you're looking good going into that next game.
এখনো আছে এই পা মুছরাইতে গেলে ব্যথা আছে তাছাড়া এমনি হাঁটাহাঁটি করছে এরকম ব্যথা নাই তারপর শনিবারের দিকে যাবো আবার এক্সরা দেবে ব্যথা তো আছে শনিবারে দিয়ে আবার এক্সরা দিবে দেখা যাক কি অবস্থা আছে
Let's have some fun, survivors.
What's up, everybody? We're back with some more content here at Esports World Cup 2025. You're back with me, Gideon. This time, we are going to go for some hot takes with none other than Hot Shot Esports. Hey, don't worry, boys. You don't have to be so nervous about it because it's time for some hot takes. Let's first talk about
ব্রাউজারে শুধু আমি দেব এটা হবে না না
playing this time round.
কি দিবি
मेरे ख्याल से मुझे फैल्कन
ক্রোম দিবি ক্রোম দিতে হলে তো উইন্ডোজ ক্যাপচার দিতে হবে রে ভাই
और 7 भी मेरी फेवरेट
উইন্ডোজ ক্যাপচার
হ্যাঁ উইন্ডোজ ক্যাপচার
I'm going to put you on
যা
the
উইন্ডোজ
spot
ক্যাপচার
here.
তো দিবি না
Who do you think is the worst team
বেশ করে ডাবল
coming
ক্লিক কর
into EWC 2025 Free Fire?
ওই উপরে যা এই টেবিলের এন্ড ক্রোম শো করবে ওই দা নিচে ক্রোম
I'm so sorry I put him on the spot there. That's on me. That's on me.
Chrome
Ping.
tab
That's
open
on
kar.
me. Okay, but let's talk about meta now, right? Do you have any thoughts on the meta? What are some of your hot takes for it?
I don't like this meta because of
स्ट्रीम चलছে মে বেজন্য নাকি এখানে তো ক্রোম
मतलब मेरे ख्याल से अगर 120 पॉइंट कर जाती है एक टीम और दूसरी 80 पे अगर पहुंचती है और वो कर लेती तो सामने वाले की तो मेहनत ही था जो इतनी टाइम मतलब इतनी गेम्स उसने खेली है उसे ट्राई नहीं तो एक भुइया की वजह से पूरी चैंपियनशिप चले जाना इससे कोई बुरी फीलिंग नहीं हो सकती
So it's like very unfair. Oh, but then wouldn't it feel like really good to not have that, even though you didn't do well during the point rush, but you just smash it at the very end?
अगर आपका
ওয়াকিং যদি বিষয় বল আমি স্ট্রিম করব
जोन अच्छा पकड़ लो ऐसे भी होता
ওয়াচিং না আসে কাম করে লাভ নেই
आप पे घुस जाती
আমার চ্যানেলের কারণ
कर देती है आपकी पूरी गेम खराब कर देती है लास्ट जोन में तो वो
एक और विंडोज कैप्शन আবার নতুন করে
डिपेंड करता है टीम पे कि वो रश करती है नहीं अगर गलत रश कर दिया तो अपनी तो गेम ही गई
I agree with what he says. It's good. It's a good opinion.
কাটিতে
Very
পারে
good opinion.
কাটিতে পারে
So much hot shot. This is again. Hey, let your fans know who you are, what you're expecting to do. Give some final words before we close this out.
हम लोग अपनी पूरी ट्राई करेंगे ये वर्ल्ड कप जीतने की जितना हो सकता है अपना बेस्ट देंगे
हम अपना बेस्ट देंगे 100% देके बाकी रिजल्ट हमारे हाथ में नहीं हमने अपनी पूरी कोशिश
ये लोग मजा
की
चोद
मालिक है
এটা বিলাক হয়ে রয়েছে কা
Thank you so much.
थैंक यू
Appreciate it.
আমি
man.
কেমন
This is
পাবো
sick.
বিলা
This
হয়ে
is
রয়েছে
sick.
थैंक यू
Hope you guys enjoyed the hot takes because the
আরে হচ্ছে রে
reaction
ভাই
of Raja's
তেরে মিনিমাইজ করছিস ওইজন্যই হয়ে যাচ্ছে তুই লাইভ স্ট্রিম তোর পৌঁছে চেক কর না
I disagree with that because I'm a Brazilian supporter, so I really appreciate playing gaming. Actually, they have like Noda, which is like a player, a really traditional player in Brazil.
ফরমে যায় দেখ আগে
He had like a good experience about like playing
তাহলে একবারে অন
global tournaments, you know. So I think he's kind of confident about it. So I wouldn't like worry about playing gaming. I think they can do like a really good job. And they have a Peter also, which is a really good rusher too. And well, I'm excited to see them play as well. They are not playing so good right now.
She smalled it.
Hi, Chrome deck open kor niche.
Behind her eyes, she's like, oh
Niche থেকে
boy,
open
just wait, they're coming for
এরপরে
you.
উবিয়ে
They're
যা
coming.
Well,
এরপরে
before
দেখ
we jump into our next matchup, it looks like we are going to be
রোজ
having
না
a little
আসে
bit of fun on the main
আবার
stage
কেটে আবার
with
এড কর
Mats and Tash Bunny.
Sizzling
Guys,
pong
what's
করে
happening?
দেব A lot of things are happening, Danily.
Yeah.
The first two maps are incredible, explosive starts. But for me personally, the two teams you look out for, excuse me, is Hotshot and Red Hawks. What about you?
They have been one of the greenhorns in our team, especially from Bangladesh. Red Hawks had been having good games. Game number 1, even though they didn't get the booyah, but damn, being at number 7 for the first game is an achievement. And continuing to the second game, they just dominate the team. However, sadly, did not get that top 3 spot, but still managed to take out Pain Gaming, almost taking out Team Falcons and more.
Honestly, it's looking really good for them. A lot of teams are maybe underestimating them, not sure about what to expect from this team. Regardless, this is their debut into the international stage, and a lot is still in the dark for these two enigmatic teams. And for now, guys, we're gonna go back over to the casters for game 3, so get hyped.
Go, AJ Husky.
Thank you very much to the panel, and of course our colleagues at Mass and Tash Buddy. We're about to head into the desert of Kalahari, so put on your leg. It's about to get hot and heated. It's your boys Husky and Mustachio AJ back on the mic.
জয়েন করতে কইছো তুমি তোমার তো পাম এখন তো করতে হবে এমন কোনো কিছু লেখা নাই
But what are the odds that Hotshot brings us off against
so cannot access directly
Raja, it's called hot takes for a good reason, right? And it was a really good hot take. I mean, you got to take a shot at somebody. Pain Gaming unfortunately took the L this time around, but at least they said they love Fluxo.
সিনেমা ডাইরেক্টর কভারেজ ক্রোম ব্রাউজার ব্যবহার করুন তাহলে কি ব্যবহার করছিস শালা কি নিশাগর
Fluxo is good, but beating them would be better.
Telegram
to actually get that done.
Yeah, and they also like R7, so I guess Pain Gaming takes the short end of the stick going into this game. But so far, all the results that we've seen in the first 2 rounds have been unpredictable. I mean, of course, we have the Thai team dominating, sure, but teams like Hotshot Esports, Red Hawks, from the 2 regions that are more are now one of the pack leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we called it out really well the previous time before we went in for a break. It's not about the number 1 spot. It's just about squeezing yourself into the top 12 and earning a spot at point. And of course, you're automatically in the grand finals already in the top 12. And that's not so difficult, which is also the reason why the Brazilian fans don't really need to worry, because we've got 2 days of play for Fluxo, and this is the kind of squad that ramps up really late. They're just warming up at this point of time, and you know, you don't want to piss the Brazilians off. The fact of the matter is they're getting beaten down right now. You are happening to piss them off unintentionally. This is going to be bad. These lobbies are just going to get more and more chaotic as we get into the competition.
Yeah, and it's also a good time to remind everyone that 3 out of the 4 players from Fluxo are 2-time world champions.
Oh yeah.
Aside from MT7, you know, the first one was Yago, but overall this team is not a team to be trifled with. Sure, they've had heartbreaking losses. They came in second multiple times, be it in local, regional tournaments, or even tournaments. But it is still a brand that has resonated with Brazilian Free Fire ever since the first gen, the year 0, when Corinthians won the first ever world championship. Fluxo is a very good successor to
Prime X
my only gripe is how slow they play. And I think I want to see a bit more, because I know Fluxo can get aggressive, they can get down and dirty, but with how slow it looks, at some point you have to switch it up. Maybe this round 3 is going to be the turning point.
I think that's said that, right? Aggression, but it's always calculated aggression. They're capable of it, but they are always calculating as to when to get in and to get into some of these hot battles. They've been playing it very slow for the first 2 games. Obviously, in Bermuda, they kind of got caught off guard a tad bit outside the circle as they were heading into Factory. Second game, it's always a Thai team at this point. Obviously, we're looking for more from them, and I'm very sure they will show us exactly why they are your 2-time world champs. We haven't even seen those great shots from MP7 just yet. This should most definitely be those warm-up rounds, but you take a look at these teams like we also talked about off screen. They didn't even get into point rush. This year, if they can keep this up, they sure as hell are getting there. And obviously, another team's got to pay the price by giving
it's like a very fun game, right? I literally told you about what we kind of had fun with yesterday during our study. I said that there are 4 Brazilian representatives,
Yes.
9 from Southeast Asia. That's 13 teams. That's one
কালো
extra
হয়ে
team
রয়েছে ইউটিউবে লাইভ
that can qualify to point rush. And if we have to slot hot shot in, we have to get rid of 2 teams.
আমি
And
জানি
now, after round 2, it makes you wonder a little bit.
আমি কিছু জানি না ওরে ওরে
Just enough to overtake.
ওরে মারা মারা মারা
And of course, you talk about hot shots, but I think Tashmani brought up a really good other team as well, Red Hawks. Duca Gaming, one of the best coaches out there, so full of wisdom and intelligence. And the bigger question that I had in my mind was, is the application of that intelligence going to fare well on the world stage? And holy hell, Red Hawks are doing super fine at this point of time. Obviously, they kind of got wrecked by Core Memory Esports because I think Red Hawks were in a really good spot. As they saw Pain Gaming getting taken down, they could have taken advantage. That one miscalculation, playing it as 10 put them in hot suits. I want to see more aggression from them. Just like how we saw aggression from Hotshot in the final circle. But Hotshot shouldn't have gotten that aggression.
আসলো লিঙ্কে তো বৃষ্টিকালে আইছে রে আজকে বৃষ্টির ভিতরে গোসল করতে যায়
এটা আমাদের থার্ড ম্যাচ শুরু হয়ে গেছে কালাহরি ম্যাপে ঠিক আছে সবাই দেখা যাক আর এই টিম আমাদের বাংলাদেশ থেকে কি করতে পারে বাংলাদেশ
Brazilian teams prefer the
Awas.
El Clasico.
Check.
Not one of those
Bangladesh
matches.
Upload.
At least a
ঠিক
half
করছি
is very
ঠিক
forgiving.
বাইরের
Right
দেশে
through the
কি
middle,
রাখতে
finally
পারবে
it's going to be a hot spot for the
বাংলাদেশে আমরা
তোর কথা শুনি তাও রাখতে পারবি না নে
At this point of time,
এ ভাই সিল্লি করিস কে সব জায়গা
free fire and
যদিও রাখতে পাইতে তোর কথা শুনি রাখতে পারবি না নে
champions team
একটা মানে টুর্নামেন্টের রিঅ্যাকশন হয় তোরা হয় না তোরে নে
well at all
এডি
আমার
ক্রিকেট খেলা যারা দেখতে যায় তারা সামনে যায় বলবি তো ক্রিকেটের বাংলাদেশ পারবে না এডি বাংলাদেশে একটা নাম গড়তে হয়েছে যায়
let's see if or not
তুই কি
consistency
করছিস
would be there
এই দাঁড়া হাততালি দিয়ে নে
dominating out there very early on
কি গালি দিলি
ভালো লাগছে
about to be aimed
আচ্ছা এই করে
আমাদের
আমি
এখানে
কিছু
টিম
পরে
খেল
আসছি
আমাদের এখানে টিম ফ্যালকন অনেক এগিয়ে আছে ঠিক আছে রেড হকার
আগে ঠিক
আমরা জানি RHK আমাদের পজিশন দেখতে পাচ্ছি 2 নাম্বার 8 নম্বরে ঠিক আছে এই 8 নম্বর থেকে পজিশন কে এককে যাওয়া সম্ভব কি না আর RHK কি পারবে এটাকে অসম্ভব কি সম্ভব করতে সেটা আমরা দেখব ঠিক আছে
right now taken over by Vision
ঠিক
System
আছে
and a very slow
এটা হচ্ছে আমাদের গর্বের বিষয় বাংলাদেশ থেকে যে বাইরে দেশে গিয়ে ওদের টুর্নামেন্ট করছে এখানে যদি ওরা জয়ী নাও হতে পারে তারপরেও আমাদের একটা গর্বের বিষয় যে বাংলাদেশ থেকে টুর্নামেন্টে গেছে কিন্তু ওদের পজিশন আমারই একেবারে খারাপ না ঠিক আছে আর এসকে 7 নম্বর স্কোয়াডে আছে ঠিক আছে ওদের পয়েন্ট আছে কত 18 এটা হচ্ছে তৃতীয় ম্যাচ কালাহরে ম্যাপে তৃতীয় ম্যাচ তো এনজয় করেন দেখেন কি করতে পারে
around the maze, which is one of the few deadly areas.
ভালোবাসা
For some reason, people like to fight in the maze, but if you get control and you get access to a vehicle early on, you get these kind of luxury. And let's hope it pays off for Virtus Pro. They have a good spot to rotate to. They're scanning north side, while I think it's AGAL that dropped the scan nameless. AGAL are on the northern end of Foundation.
And we get a quick shot here of Vision as well. They had Vision that they perhaps may be able to find a few extra points out here up against Virtus Pro. In they go, looking for the hunt at the maze. AGAL would have definitely seen them flying on it as well, so it doesn't mean Vision System has
like
the
and
upper hand here.
comment
It's
karo
all
guys
up until
next time
AGAL
kon
decides to
kon
drop
topic
by
niye
and
video
say
korba
hello, nameless. Almost got put down there.
ভার্সেস কারা
Just
হচ্ছে
said that
অপোনেন্টে
teams like to fight here, and it's good to see it be quiet, but Vision System is here to change it. That they don't want to play by the book.
আচ্ছা এর মাঠটা এরকম এত আলাদা কেন
Want a body for another on fire. Blasted from the back by Evo's Divine Falcon, surrounded by the Indonesians.
Absolutely, Falcons were going in
already
for
getting
a
at
hunt
থেকে ইয়ে
vitality,
করছে
but saved by the appearance of Evo's Esports now. Engor Rasia all up at the top, dropping player after player limit. Question is, did he hit that revival before running on out? The team survived for a little bit longer. Limit getting the deep dodge, purchasing an insurance policy for the squad, keeping Falcons in. We saw this in Bermuda, almost on the wipeout list, and then they made a comeback for the Bullier, so we can't count them out just yet.
Of course not, but on Kalahari is so much harder, right? So much more open ground that you need to be careful about. Just getting down by GU, as CHK now have to deal with Floxo. That's the Reptile Rhythm. It breaks more faster now in this new update, and Don will have to back off. Cougar being able to sidestep and take cover. Fluxo down to just GU and MT7.
And the plasma gun, one that we have not seen in a long time in meta, is finally back with a bang. GU spots out Sensi, down you go baby. AWM not quick enough. GU will instantly pick up that elimination for himself. But here's the problem though, Call Memory, they are outnumbering the players of Fluxo. Butch is in as well as Pops, down on the ground. Eliminated too early, no vending machine in the area for a quick revival as well.
Great rotation from GU, does have the hook gun to facilitate that, but Don does not want to let him get away. Actually sees the jump, the timing a bit off for Don, couldn't really take ground, get a couple of shots off, so GU once more gets into cover, but Don wants to chase. He has backup coming in, and GU now will have a 1v2 on his hands.
Doesn't pull out the sniper just yet, but look at this, Don chasing GU straight into the hands of Limit, perhaps was actually on a revival spree, bringing back the rest of his team members. GU caught in a really tough spot here. And the impressive thing is Call Memory just sending in 2 players on for the hunt. They do understand that Fluxo does have another player alive and taking out there on the battlefield. GU has the right gun, but doesn't have the numbers on his side. Too low on HP. Cougar with the M590 puts him out.
Pretty tough to fight in this environment when you are outnumbered, but a good attempt from GU. Fluxo still in the running with 2 extra members, so a revival must have came through at some point. A couple of highlights from the earlier stage of the round. We see Falcons and Vitality duking it out before the most defined shows up and just shut the showdown.
Absolutely. And Vitality obviously really happy with that situation. They got to scurry away, hit those revivals, and back in here with the full squad. Unfortunately though, they haven't brought any points up onto the board just yet. Vision system spotting out potential opponents here. Went in for the chase earlier on, but will drop back now to check out what AGAL is all about. Jota with the Tatsuya and the Oscar has got a double dash there in hand, so he's going to be pretty deadly. They're probably going to give him a little bit of extra confidence as well, but instantly that confidence taken away by Cypher and his headshot. AC-80 to the head, and will put the players of Vision System on the back foot as they try to get away.
Instant disengage from Vision System. Virtus Pro will have to face up against Pain Gaming right here at Mammoth. Plenty of open grounds, plenty of crevices that you can hide yourself in and pop up for an ambush. Blue Wall Melter and Ice Grenade both thrown out at that singular glue wall. Goose and Peter drops another 2. It's going to take some time for VP to break right through, but enough time for Exposy from behind. Finds the penetration, and VP are looking for a cleanup, but Noda X and Motobia are fighting back valiantly. Pain Gaming not willing to go down without dealing a couple of blows on their own. But Peter goes right down. Forang is in the ring. Pain Gaming prevails.
And that Riptide Rhythm breaking down anything that they had to defend themselves up against the shots of Pain Gaming. They sure as hell brought the pain down onto Virtus Pro, instantly snuffing out their hopes very early on here. This may just be that comeback map for the Brazilian squad.
Danny hit the nail on the head on the panel, right?
Yes.
Teams that get Booyah finds confidence, and then they blow out the next round. VP being cursed by that, but Pain Gaming really stepping it up. It might have heard what hot shots said during the clip. Cypher finally the last vestige of Vision System out in 11th.
Guys, আজান দিচ্ছে আমরা একটু কম্প্রোমাইজ করি, ঠিক আছে গাইস?
Initially, AGL didn't even play the third party. They just bided their time, waiting for that opportunity. And it all started off with that AC-80 by Cypher. Vision System out early once again.
I know we have a lot of disagreements about Kalahari, but I think one thing we can agree on is that a slow Kalahari game is the scariest game of all.
Oh yeah.
With so much open area. We're seeing Dinoculus being pulled out. A couple of knocks on the kill feed. Ray finding Cypher. rotation from Team Falcons finding some haven. Here comes Evo's Divine, who have recollected their footstep and retraced it straight to AGAL and find 6 points, but they're on the hunt for more. Deal in the red has a revival point, but there's no time for any static movement, so Evo's Divine will keep on chasing.
Oh, but Evo's in trouble though. Pain Gaming rotating towards their compound at the very same time, and Evo's a tad bit too busy on the hunt here, looking for the final player on the side of AGAL. Gochil will be able to spot him, misses the fed shot, and the jump pad allows him to survive a little bit longer, just a slightly bit. And Pain Gaming, on the other hand, pulling the brakes instantaneously, not wanting to drop by this compound too early. Evo's Divine finding Jony, but the revival for AGAL was pretty phenomenal at that vending machine, so he got his job done.
Pain Gaming found a better bounty than dealing with Evo's Divine is the revived member, the freshly returned members of AGAL. And that's free pickings for Pain Gaming if they can find them around member. Core Memory going for an extremely late rotation, just passing through Stone Rage to the southern side of the map. They're gonna reach the sub in just a little bit where Fluxo is holding ground, but you can see that Pain Gaming, they've already found a couple of numbers on AGAL.
Yeah. Core Memory in the fastest vehicle they can find out there on the deserts of Kalahari. Probably won't give them much. Will protect them from some of the elevation as the drop off of these cliffs. And Pain Gaming, on the other hand, 6 eliminations strong. A beautiful start for this Brazilian squad this time round, with Motovia and Gus finally finding that high octane action on their side, and they are not on the losing end for the time being. And I think chaos is about to befall all of us here, Husky. Only 2 teams out of the equation so far, and this is not a huge map at all.
No, it's like a volcano about to erupt, right? You can see, you can already feel the tectonic plates, you know, the friction. They're about to slide off each other's equilibrium, and when that happens, the eruption is going to be uncontrollable. We are seeing Core Memory, AGAL, and Fluxo collide at the sub. That could kind of narrow down some of the numbers on this map. Bob's finding Jony. So Fluxo getting a couple of eliminations under their belt as well. Boss with the first grenade elimination on this map.
Well, Core Memory has got the advantage here. Fluxo out in the open. Cougar spotted him out already. But as they take damage from the circle, question is when they go in for that strike. Good double blue wall erected instantaneously, saving the squad with the defense. And now the grenade's laid off! Not made by bombs! Instantaneously dismantles the squad of Core Memory. They can't get away just yet.
What a 3-pointer from this man! 2 back-to-back grenades, the ripple jump, and MT7! Finds a Zensi, Core Memory chance in this fight, but they should have had the advantage. And now the rest of Core Memory are gonna get dispatched one by one. Butchers in and Bobs comes in. There's a double for Fluxo, 6 points.
movement এখানে ফ্যালকন আছে তারপর বলা যায় না
আমরা চাচ্ছি যে ফ্যালকন ভার্সেস আরএসকে মানে রেড হকার বাংলাদেশ ভার্সেস ফ্যালকনের মানে ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ
6 elimination strong.
What a stand-up performance here at the sub.
But now dealing with the circle, making it into the next save zone is going to be a little bit of a problem because they went straight in towards the confines of Refinery. High ground action once might just put them out. They need to depend on those jump pads as well as a couple of scans out of those binoculars.
Red Hawks are about to engage with Hotshot Esports as Hotshot started firing at Flicker. He did take a jump pad to rotate from Refinery towards the southern end of the compound. AGAL doing the same thing, about to land right on top of Falcons too. Gotta be ready, and he absolutely is, but Vitality is behind him. Gotta pick a poison.
What a rotation here behind you.
ফ্যালকন এখানে পুরো বোকামো করছে ফ্যালকন এখানে ওয়ার্কআউট হয়ে যেতে পারে কারণ এখানে আমাদের
performing really well in the hands of the Asian squad.
We see a Dinocular scan as well, 5 players being scanned now. I think it should be courtesy of Red Hawks as Core Memory gets eliminated in 10th place. 9 teams remain. Here comes Evo's Divine about to fight the compatriots from Indonesia. Vitality right on their radar. And Evo's Divine on the hunt.
Evo's Divine, one
কি
of
হবে
the leaders
এখানে আমাদের হচ্ছে
at this day
রেড
one,
হকার আর
looking to
এসকে অনেক
continue
ভালো
their prowl into the next circle,
ভালো
but
পেয়ে
Alpha showing up out of nowhere.
পজিশনে নিয়ে যেতে পারবে
Let's see if
ম্যাচটাকে
they
বুঝে
can
নিতে
get
পারবে
away from this one because Evos knows exactly what they need to knock down. Vitality standing right in front of Alpha 34, R7 rotating
Jony
around.
পেজটা আমি একটু ইয়ে করে দেব
By who? By the players of Hot
ভাই এখানে তিন স্কোয়াড নিচে ফাইটে ঠিক আছে এখানে উপরে RHK আর ফ্যালকন মনে হয় উপরে হোল্ডে আছে কি হবে লাস্ট পর্যন্ত
without enough information. Evil Divine now gets to move on forward. They got to bring Ray back up, and they do just that. Ray back up to full vitality, holding behind this container. As 25 has a huge job to do. Sees Kochu, tags him a little bit, forcing Evil Divine back into this factory area, this garage, this warehouse, and that's going to slow them down for a bit. But Pain Gaming now arrives.
Hot shots versus Red Hawks. That's a battle that we are about to see. And Falcons, yet another bird hopping on into the mix as well. There's some hot action about to kick off on the opposite side of that battle.
এখানে উপরে ফ্যালকন ভার্সেস RHK ফ্যালকন ভার্সেস RHK চলছে
Sajid finds one for
করবে
the
এবার
squad as
RHK
well.
বাংলাদেশ
The
থেকে এরা
container, all the Falcons have for in terms of defense.
এবারও মনে হচ্ছে RHK থেকে এরা থার্ড পার্টি হবে কি হবে
Not just for hot shot, but
RHK অনেক হোল্ড আপ
Team
করছে
Falcons limit with the Riptide Rhythm is going to make it even tougher for Foxo.
ফ্যালকনের
They're
ঠিক
putting up
নিচে
the blue
আমাদের
wall,
RHK
and
রয়েছে
it's just enough, but a second one comes through. Foxo could not catch a break at all, but a couple of containers is going to keep them safe for now. Pain Gaming
Using the terrain to their advantage. Great play from Fluxo to not waste their glue walls, and they are on the very edge of the next zone as well. So not a lot of space to rotate around. Therefore, Fluxo should be in that final circle. The rest of the chaos about to go down now. But hot shots with that high ground advantage.
Anas, and this is already not a good start for Hotshot. Can they
Still
hold
alive,
on?
RHK.
Gonna get knocked out by Kororo. The Kororo secures this demise. It's down in this tree for Hotshot. They need to hold this ground. Falcons knows that the takeover is one step to completion.
RHK still alive. RHK এবারে বের কিছু করবে গাইস। RHK এবারে একটু আমাদের কিছু একটা উপহার দিতে চলছে এই কালাহরিতে। RHK ফাইটের মধ্যে নক আউট RHK ভার্সেস এইচএস হচ্ছে একটা প্লেয়ার আছে এখানে ইভোস ফ্যালকন আর RHK ফুল স্কোয়াড বেশি আছে এখানে কি করবে এইচএস ওয়ার্কআউট এখানে ফাইট চলছে এজেলের একটা প্লেয়ার বাইসে আছে এজেল এখানে মনে হয় RHK ফ্লিকারের AWM এর গেম প্লে কি দেখতে পারবো আমরা দুর্দান্ত সেই গেম প্লে ইভোসকে অনেক প্যারা দিচ্ছে
Red Hawks are kicking it out there, still alive. But 5 squads remaining.
Nice buy.
As Cypher shows up in front of Peter, who's on absolute fire in this final circle. Circles moving on. Fluxo doesn't really need to get on there too far. Limited the squad plays with the glue wall melters before those defenses can even be erected.
This is ফ্যালকনের চারটা প্লেয়ার ইভোস এক নাম্বার টপ পজিশনে চলে গেছে এখন কি করবে RHK
desperately being thrown to protect him, but Kuntush ends up being a victim of that as the rest of Evil Divine are going to show up to clean up what they started.
RHK আবার থার্ড পার্টি RHK ওয়ার্কআউট হয়ে গেছে গাইস তো ব্যাড এই ম্যাচে আমাদের RHK কিছু করতে পারলো না এখানে ভুইয়া কারা নেবে ইভোস না ফ্যালকন
I don't know if or not they are
কি মনে হয় রাব্বি ইভোস নেবে না ফ্যালকন নেবে
but now Falcons at the very top. They wanted double booyah at the start
রাব্বি
of
আছে
the day, and they may just as well pull this one off.
Again, they took over where Hotshot was, and it gave them the best position to work with. High ground leverage, and on top of that, good rotation into this moving circle. Evil Divine getting dispatched left, right, and center. Falcons with 9 eliminations under their belt. Boss about to run into Peter. This is a good angle for them to go for the swing.
And now, with EVOS kind of slowing things down a tad bit, Falcons are in trouble. Fluxo knows exactly the kind of danger that awaits them from up above. Those grenades could come raining down on them, but everybody's waiting for that circle to close on down. This one is now turning out to be a troublesome situation. Do we depend on those medkits, or do we depend on some final second pandemonium as Butches in finds Aim God, puts him down 6 feet under as well. EVOS has no chance to pull the booyah.
That is good for Fluxo. They got 3 members left. They just have to hold this ground. Starts by taking out EVOS Esports, because that is the contender. That is going to be the one, the team that is challenging them for space. But if they can hold this, they are going to force Fluxo to play level.
Yeah, it ain't over till it's over. Fluxo, a slow start indeed, but Peter
ফ্যালকনে নেবে ভাই ফ্যালকনে বুইয়া নেবে কিছু করার নাই
puts down bombs. Your MVP from the global stage, and without him, this one gets a tad bit more difficult. Pushes him down as well. Gio, the final survivor, taken out of the equation, and the one and only Falcons, your champions of Free Fire AWC 24, showing that they can rise up to the top when they want to.
2 booyahs in 3 rounds. Falcons built to withstand hardship, built to withstand altitude, and built to withstand the desert of Kalahari. Another clean round, great understanding of rotation. Hotshot Esports was the key, and Falcons swoop in on that.
Brother.
ফ্যালকনই নেছে ভুয়া কি বললাম গাইস ফ্যালকন ভাই একটা যেমন তেমন স্কোয়াড না ঠিক আছে ফ্যালকন একটা হার্ড স্কোয়াড ফ্যালকনের সাথে কি পারবে আরএসকে আমরা আরএসকের এই ম্যাচে পজিশন ভালোই ছিল লাস্টে গিয়ে থার্ড পার্টি শিকার হয়েছে পুরগাটরিতেও ফ্যালকন মানে আরএসকে যেমন হচ্ছে থার্ড পার্টি শিকার হয়েছে এখানেও
যেটা দিলা
এখানেও হয়েছে টিম ফ্যালকন টপ থেকে টপ পজিশনে আছে আমরা ইতিমধ্যে অনেকেই জানি টিম ফ্যালকন হচ্ছে আপনাদের 24 সালে ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ চ্যাম্পিয়ন ঠিক আছে ফ্যালকন এখন আমরা আরএসকে থেকে কিছু একটা আশা করছি টপ পজিশনের ভিতরে কিছু একটা আশা করছি কিন্তু আরএসকে পারবে এদেরকে টক্কর দিয়ে বাংলাদেশে কিছু একটা করতে ওইটাই আমাদের দেখার বিষয় ঠিক আছে তো আপনারা স্ট্রিমে যারা যারা নতুন ফলো লাইক কমেন্ট করে দিয়েন কোন স্কোয়াড জিততে পারে কোন স্কোয়াড আজকের চ্যাম্পিয়ন হবে এখনো ম্যাচ আছে অনেকগুলো ঠিক আছে কেবল 3টা হলো আরও 3টা ম্যাচ আছে ঠিক আছে সবাই বাংলাদেশ থেকে সবাই আরএসকে ট্যাগ দেন হ্যাশট্যাগ আরএসকে হবে ফ্লিকারকে দেখাচ্ছে আমাদের ফ্লিকার আরএসকে দেখলে মনে হচ্ছে খুবই হতাশ আছে ঠিক আছে তারা হতাশ হওয়ার কারণ আছে কারণ ওখানে প্রচুর ভালো ভালো ওদের মধ্যে ওরা কিছু করতে পারছে না কি কামব্যাক কি আমরা ওদের এই 3টা ম্যাচে কি ওদের কামব্যাক দেখতে পারবো কি না সেটাই দেখার বিষয় ঠিক আছে
Thankfully in round number 3 not just Fuxo Pain Gaming also showing us that Brazilians are not to be trifled over. Yeah, the cold start kind of sucked a little bit but now the engines have warmed up they're able to start shifting gears
এই যে এখান থেকে আরএসকে ভাই পুরো হাত পাটি শিকার হয়েছে কিছু করার নাই
Haja tried to trick all of us. They were like, she's like, you know, the Brazilians won't do all that too well on this map. They were rocking it, right? And Fluxo getting into the final circle shows us the fight in them. But of course, we have got the stage. Let's bring up the interview with the winners.
Wow, what we have seen so far. Double booyah for Team Falcons and of course some incredible Free Fire matches. So right now let's talk to Peter from Team Falcons. Last year he won AWC with his previous team but also with Team Falcons. And right now let's throw him some questions. I have him here, his translator, and we're gonna do this communication between us. Okay, first question. What was the talk or strategy that helped you start the day so strong and end up at the top of the standing so far?
ก็สำหรับคำถามแรกนะครับอยากจะถามว่ามีแผนอะไรบ้างครับที่เตรียมมาก่อนหน้านี้ทำให้การ performance ของทีมเนี่ยอยู่บนท็อปของตารางเลยครับตั้งแต่เปิดแข่งมา
ก็แผนไม่มีอะไรมากครับก็แค่ยิงให้เขารู้จักครับว่าเราก็ไม่ได้มาแบบเป็นหมูให้เขาเชื่อครับ
guys
So there's no plan at all. We are here just like to hunt everyone down one by one.
Reaction.
Wow. Okay, that's a good answer.
না ঠিকই আছে
ফ্যালকন কিন্তু অনেক হার্ড স্কোর ঠিক আছে ফ্যালকন আর রিভোজের মধ্যে কিছু একটা হবে কিন্তু এর মধ্যে যদি আরএসকে কিছু করতে পারে ভাই মানে পুরো আনএক্সপেক্টেড কিছু হবে আরএসকে যদি কিছু করে
เราเป็นถึงขั้นแชมป์นะครับ
বাংলাদেশ থেকে অন্য দেশে যায় ভাই টুর্নামেন্টে আরএসকে যদি কিছু করে ফেলে ভাই এটা মানে ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপের একটা সেরা কিছু হবে
মোবাইল প্লেয়ার না
บ้างไหมครับ
ก็ไม่ได้ডাউনলোড হচ্ছে ডাউনলোড হলেแค่เราก็เล่นตามสไตล์ของเราถ้าป้องกันแชมป์ก็จะป้องกันแชมป์ไม่ได้ครับ
ডাউনলোড হচ্ছে ডাউনলোড দিছি
Actually there's no pressure at all for him or like for anyone in the team we are here just like to defend the champs
Okay no pressure for other teams we have heard enough from Team Falcons and let's wait what else we are gonna watch for the next match but right now it's time for a quick break so let's watch more Free Fire actions in a couple minutes
আমার কিক মারি দিয়ে দাও তো এই সাথে ওই বাই করতে দাও ডিসকানেক্ট করতে দাও পরপর 2 ম্যাচে টিম ফ্যালকন উইন এখনো 3টা ম্যাচ আছে কি হবে দেখার বিষয়
3 นี่มาเดินแล้วเฮ้ยกูฉีกไปได้ไกลๆได้ป่าววะฝั่งนู้นนะจุ้ยฉีกได้นะกูฉีกไปขอตัวนึงได้จุ้ยล่างนี้หมดเลยมาบนตัวนึงเอาตายแล้วโอ้ยมาเล่นเหลือ4-3แล้วมากูมาละเติร์นล่างได้ปะล่างได้กูลงนะกูลงฝั่งนี้นะให้หน้ากูตัวนึงให้หน้ากูจะดาวช่วยกันก็ต่อตัวเพื่อนหลังไป80 120ไปโอ้กูชิวสัตว์แค่นั้นแหละกูไม่ได้ยิงเลย
What an incredible comeback coming from Team Falcons. They were almost eliminated at the beginning of the game. They managed to come back and they even got revenge on their arch nemesis, Evos Divine. They were so close to getting rid of the Kryptonite, the team that's causing the most issues, but unfortunately, again, just falling short. Another thing to note as well, folks, Fluxo, this team, unfortunately, having a very slow start today, is starting to wake up. And I know, Raja, you are very excited for this because you know the potential of this team. Let's go at Fluxo. What did they do right in game number 3?
Yeah, first of all, I agree with you. I believe a lot in them, but I think they are like kind of waking up just right now, which is a little bit early. But okay, I mean, we still have other matches to play, so I think he can decide a bunch of things, and we can wait for them like to grow. But I'm really happy at all with this match from Fluxo. At least Alpha 34, it's not clocking to them. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with them, because they have like I mean, they have good players. I actually don't know what's going on.
Neptune, I know you have something that you're really wanting to bring up on the panel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, other than Team Falcons taking 100% when it comes to second map, but they're still in their top 3. Now, another team is Red Hawks. Again, I couldn't emphasize it. New to the tournament, international tournament, but they are rocking it this time.
I mean, that's not the only team who's rocking it just as hot. Hot shot! These, again, both of these teams coming into this tournament, yes, one is more veteran, the other is looking to kind of make their name here at EWC itself. It's great to see that these youngins are full of energy and are moving in with a lot of momentum in this game. But speaking of gas and momentum, we're noticing that a lot of the squads who are getting bowed out early on generally are, I don't know, even Vitality getting a little overhyped. Core memory as well, especially since they've consistently faced up against Fluxo in the past 2 maps already. I think it's really between the two of these teams to predetermine who makes it into top 3, if not top 4.
Yeah, maybe a factor as well, it was Kalahari. This is kind of a different map compared to all the other maps of Free Fire, so fundamentally it can be a little bit confusing for some of these teams, and I mean, if you can specialize in Kalahari, you are good. Now, our overall rankings. Can you guess who is at the top? The king of EWC. It is Team Falcons sitting in first place. Our champions of 2024 already off to a fantastically strong start, and followed by their arch nemesis, Evos Divine. Look, Evos are playing great, but I kind of wonder, what is it doing to your psyche to know that you are just being beaten by the team that basically stole your dreams last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough really for the side of Evos Divine. It is like, seems like in day number 1 they want to go for a repeat, but I know there's a little bit slowdown that will be happening later on, because judging from the scores, elimination wise, they have more compared to Team Falcon, so they just have to play with more elimination they can bring it on, and then consistency in the placement.
I think, at least for me, you might as well start off hot today. You need to make that statement, right? Again, we heard in the interview itself that Falcons like, we're hunting for people. That is our goal. We want to put a red target on our backs because then it's just easier for us to hunt you. We don't have to go out of our way. You'll come to us.
I just want to add that it's good to see Evo's playing better because at the global finals they weren't doing like an amazing job. I don't know if it's the right squad that is playing right now, like the same team, but well, they weren't like really good at the global finals. But right now they are doing an amazing job. I can say it.
I mean, they look great, right? They're getting so many eliminations. Their kills look very clean, right? It's very well planned out. It's very strategic. It's not... I think we sometimes see teams and they get very desperate for those eliminations. It looks a little sloppy. They just kind of go like, YOLO, just shoot anything that moves, and sometimes you get lucky. That's not what EVOS is doing. Very calculated, very calm. They're hunting for players, but they're doing it in a way where they don't really get caught out. It's just... they're hunting players, but can you also get the placement points to overtake Falcons? I think they need something to just... What's the issue? Like, what do we feel like is holding EVOS back from beating Falcons? Do we think maybe Falcons, they're just strategically better?
I think that Aim God he is smart. He's extremely smart with the way that he coordinates with the rest of his team, but you can't have all the factors in play. That very last map in Kalahari, I think it could have been possibly for them to have a 4v4 as squad v squad, just start clash squadding with Falcons if they didn't get picked off by Fluxo, right? So that's one of those key factors here every single time you go into that top 3 end circle scenario.
Yeah, and seems like EVOS Divine plays well on a 3-1 split, especially with Russia under play. I did mention that earlier on Bermuda. That is one of their downfall. If they focus more on Russia, like the distance gameplay that they have, then they might be losing up on the 4v4s.
Well, we do have another opportunity for EVOS to potentially beat Falcons and grab themselves a booyah because game number 4 is ready to go, folks. So throwing it back to Husky and AJ, take it away for game number 4 here at Free Fire at EWC 2025.
Wow, I didn't know I was called AJ and Husky. You know what? But that's okay.
Are we not welcome here?
Anyways, you know, a lot to be expected here, especially from EVOS. They had a great start today, but haven't really been able to clinch their games, getting that booyah yet. But Falcons look strong.
Falcons looks very strong. They managed to get 2 booyahs in 3 games. That is a very good opener for day number 1 for the Thailand team. And another point I would like to say is towards one of the Indonesian team, Team Vitality. They have yet to shine. They had a very terrible game number 1, alongside again on game number 2. A slight improvement on game number 3, but sadly not strong enough for them to gain points to be in that top 12 for the pointer stage.
Yeah, I think Gideon brought this up on desk as well. I mean, this is a shorter format. You don't really have that luxury, that time to really warm up, find your momentum. It's go hard, go big or go home, hit the ground running. And Falcons is showing us that with that new roster, you know, that's coming in this year, there's a lot to be expected from them, given the fact that there's only 2 players left from the last season with 2, you know, brand new players, and they want to be able to live up to their name.
There you go, 63 points for Falcons with 31 eliminations. We are now on game number 4 here in Alpine. Players has dropped from their plane and it's quite scattered in our map right here. A very good sunny day in Alpine, one of my favorite maps in Free Fire. And it looks like Team Falcon will choose Fusion as their drop spot in this map. And apparently they are not surrounded by any team. As you can see here, they are safe to loot. However, on other sides of the maps, you can see that Team Fluxo is going to go Vantage. That is one of the safe point of interest in Alpine. Quite far from the other point of interests, but still a good place to start.
Interestingly enough, I mean, today has been really big tempo. I mean, even before AJ and Husky could even do their first introductions to the game, you know, we already saw a big fight happening here. But anyways, most eliminations coming in from Rasha, Keroro, and Action. You know what's interesting? I think we were hearing a lot about Rasha for many years now. The only thing that's stopping him was just his age, right? And, you know, this is his first international debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Not the first international debut.
He did debut this year, yeah?
Yeah, for EWC, yes.
For EWC, yes. And what's really interesting about him is the fact that he is fearless. I've been first EWC, doesn't matter. I hit the ground running, I shoot heads, and I completely eliminate everyone.
Yeah, when we were 16, we were just focusing on school. And he's here in Riyadh playing for a $1 million prize pool. So that is something very remarkable. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like in the early stages of the game, not much is happening. However, Ducks, it looks like Vision System PSA has eyes locked towards a hot shot. But apparently, Hot Shot made a very nice pathing inside Ducks, trying to actually avoid a VSE. And as you know, early elimination, early fights, it's not something that you would like to face on, especially if you're on the the other end of the stick.
Yeah, I think some of these teams like VSC, Vitality, were struggling in the beginning of today as well. But now Red Hawks are going super aggressive. They're just going ham right now. They're just trying to find that space to just go into this area, trying their best to break these blue walls, finds nothing quite yet. But Flicker should fall next as the rest of the team just hunker down forward, tries to collapse. But no one's really baiting it.
Is actually...
Hooker already getting that one pick off here, and for the rest of the team, they're saying, okay, we are done. One knockout is enough, and I don't think we should actually pursue this. They don't want to push the issue.
Yeah, the reason why they are falling back is because Core Memory KOG is actually right behind their tail. And it is a good decision from both Team Red Hawks and also Team Pain to actually just fall back to avoid any kind of predicament. Sorry, not Pain, Alpha. However, you can see that CRM pushing forward towards the Brazilian.
That is painful!
And Linz, nice shots, taking down Cougar. Trying to go for a second one, but trying to secure the point first. However, Linz could not fight, but jump! Has been jumped by Motovea. That was a nice woodpecker shot from the Brazilian.
They are really great at just holding down holding the ground. They're not gonna back off. Jump falls. But they're not done quite yet. The rest of the team now on fire. Zen's will be the next one to go down. Quickly eliminated. No mercy. All kills.
Motovea shining bright here in Snowfall with 3K on his name with that one woodpecker. However, Core Memory has second life, so you can see that Don managed to revive all that is fallen from his team. So yeah, for Pain Gaming, a very good start. They have been very shaky for the past few games, but game number 4, they are clearly in a good spot.
Try for the angle. See whether or not he can just really launch himself onto these players here. Don alone. Motovea, he is going super aggressive, getting another pick-off already. This guy is a monster. He's just taking names, getting kills left, right, and center. You can really tell that this game, he's very hot right now. He's very aggressive. The momentum's definitely in his hands. He feels good. But as for Don, he's just hiding for his life, hoping that these two players do not find him. They might eventually do as they quickly make their way to him, but his teammates are rallying, slowly taking up space.
Don or Dondu, a member from King of Gamers, transfers in towards Core Memory. Made it out safe, was not spotted by Team Alpha 34. Meanwhile, Team Alpha Linz is in quite a trouble here. You can see that he was low HP for some reason. Meanwhile, hot shot on Sunside, looking very nice, looking very cool here. Sunside, this place is, for me, it's very weird because the looting here is just so small, but I don't know why it's still a point of interest in the map.
Really not. A lot of four-way fights happening right now over in that area that no one's really relenting over toward the area where Falcons were before.
There you go.
Long-range fights happening here as the rest of the team just hoping whether or not they can get that knock they really need it on fire. It's just putting in damage onto Kutush as well. Looking to reposition himself. They jump away. Kutush is very low. Surprised he wasn't able to be knocked out of the air here. The flicker should fall. Getting sandwiched between two different players. Just unlucky for him to be out there in the open.
That is the second death here for Flicker. Nejat managed to actually jump on his own, but it was found by R7 Alpha 34, so Nejat goes down as well. I believe there's only 2, or is it 1 member from Team Red Hawk 2? Yeah, 2 members of Team Red Hawk still alive. So the Bangladeshi team is still in our game. And yeah, quite unlucky here for Flicker. Could not actually flick his shot properly. Meanwhile, Vitality is still alive in Malaysia. Nothing much to be said by them. And there you go. You can see that the first circle is about to close. However, on Snowfall, in Snowfall, we got Core Memory KOG, we got Pain Gaming and Virtus Pro all in one spot.
They have to fight their way into the circle. Nothing is given, everything is earned, and this circle shifts more toward this central side with EVOS having so much of the space in the middle side of this circle. Things are getting very interesting here. We're seeing a lot of shots happening, but no really big shots happening quite yet. And it's a hard terrain to work with as well.
Hey, live
still have three teams all here. One team from Brazil, two teams from Thailand. Peter from Pain tries to take aim on towards Virtus Pro, but could not get the angle correctly. Finds Fuara, only a shot hits with that SBD. Let's go for the launcher. Uzi with the Skylar, but nothing to contribute over that active skill. Meanwhile, Pain is still holding Team Virtus Pro in their clutches. Diamond pushes towards the front. Fuara and Nameless providing space, however, jump from the back. Knocks down Motorvea. Motorvea has been eliminated. However, Pain Gaming is still alive. Peter is trying to find space to fall back. Gus manages to actually return to his teammate. Hunting towards Peter. Not trying to get that KR skill and manages to steal one from Team Pain. So, Core Memory tries to go for the third party, but eventually Team Pain as well as Virtus Pro exited Snowfall.
Honestly, they've been really hunkering him out here on Snowfall for quite some time. They're battling with the area out for the damage from being outside the zone. And on top of that as well, Pain Gaming tried to be the team to gatekeep these teams outside of that circle. And it really bit them back in the butt. Now they're in trouble. They're getting surrounded from all different sides and areas. Core Memory is making life hell from them. Zen's trying to find the perfect flank with his teammate, finds nothing quite yet. But the jump shot forward from Gus, that high ground is giving him a lot of value in terms of intel.
Yeah, Gus, the lone player from Pain Gaming, still surviving alongside of Team Core Memory. Here comes Noda to provide support. However, Zen has anticipated the move from Noda. Motovia as well has been revived. Back again into Alpine. And what will be Zen's next step? Because he's the only one here from Team Core Memory, but managed to get that. And Falcon, the double F.
Very aggressive. Geo quickly just eliminates on fire here as well. As the rest of Falcons scramble, forced to leave the zone, forced to give away their space. But Fluxo's work is not done quite yet. They're looking to find any other pickups they can from Falcons, really stop their domination. They've been doing great right now for Falcons, but a bit more quiet in the start, and I don't blame them.
Single shot has been tied. Alpine one elimination. Same goes to Vision System. SPA. VSE is still yet to show what they are worth here, because they have been having bad games up until game number 4 here. Meanwhile, Zen takes down Nameless, that's on the kill feed. Meanwhile, MT7 gets a point here for Fluxo, taking out Najab from Red Hawks. And we are back on Zen from Core Memory. He's still yet together with his teammate Jump. Just got revived back. Only Cougar is still on the spectator side. So Zen has a lot of work to be done. But yep, it looks like the circling nicely actually, if you can get the map in. It's actually circling nicely towards Team EVOS Divine.
EVOS Divine has been in that circle for quite some time. They didn't really have to do much rotation. They didn't have to go super aggressive in terms of moving around the map as well. They're so comfortable right now. The only team that's looking to really challenge them is Vitality. But meanwhile, over on this side, a lot of teams are getting knocked down, falling to their deaths. As for Core Memory here, looking to challenge Falcons, going to touch the toe right now. Nice sprays forward, but is actually going to find Peter in the end. It's doing a great job of strafing and moving around his movement. And he's not dead. Spots out limit, anything that moves. He shoots and limit barely survives the initial skirmish.
And we have just found that Alpha 34 is the first team to be eliminated here in
টুর্নামেন্টে অংশগ্রহণ করা RHK টিম হকার্স
could not survive so we're now looking at a team core memory. I believe this is Jump. Looking for space to run. It looks like Cougar has been formed by Vitality. So the lone player here has to face Limit is one of the best snipers in Thailand. Maybe the Free Fire.
RHK মনে হচ্ছে RHK সর্বপ্রথম ওয়ার্কআউট
Red Hawks is no more at level at number 8.
ভাই
Unfortunate for Red Hawks, who had such great streak earlier, not able to hold on right now as well. This circle, I would say, is quite complicated. While it did favor Eagles, and now it's pulling toward Vitality. If I think did significant impact, also knocked down as well. But for the Keroro, he's running for his life. For Pain Gaming there, look on the hunter. Where the heck is this Keroro from here? He falls forward. To steal that point. Pain, yeah, they have 7 eliminations, and they're going on the map like just knocking on death's door. Fluxo somehow on the other edge is going bonkers. What the heck happened there?
The interaction with AGAL finally ends in a good green light. Fluxo takes down AGAL. Now we're looking at Vision System SPA. Tries to take a good strike onto a Hotshot, but Hotshot defending their fort quite well here, forcing Vision to actually fall back. However, Vision manages to actually conquer the first floor. Awaiting Hotshot from below.
A lot of things are happening here on the suicide circle. It's not going to be easy as well. The top side of this building completely covered as well. Just trying to really, I would say, box the players in the front of the compound. Finds nothing quite yet. But Hotshot's going to get adventurous. Going to try and peek outside. Free fires are good right now. Rush forward here. The rest of the team in trouble. But this may be their problem right now because Noda will be the one to get knocked out. He fell down to his death. But action goes huge, aggressive everywhere, just collapsing. But the zone is going through. Everything looking dire. Everyone looks desperate right now.
Excellent global placement. Hotshot trapping Vision inside. Now Jota has forced to go outside. Still running low on his feet. One left here for Vision. And I believe he could not survive. Yep, Jota has been eliminated. There goes Team Vision. Now Evolve fighting against Vitality. Brother versus brother. And it looks like Evolve might shine bright here, taking down Vitality. And now we are down to 7, maybe 6 soon. And Evolve murdering Vitality. Only Dick still alive outside of the tent, but Fluxo wants blood. Fluxo wants into
Falcon একটা প্লেয়ার Falcon বাইসে আছে still alive ভাই
For the teams to even get that breathing space, and Dick is doing a great job of waiting on the outside, allowing Fluxo to take this fight. Wara falls somehow. Falcons managed to find him in the end, but for Eva's Divine, they're not out of the blue yet. Russia doing great. Big opening on the GO as well.
বাংলাদেশ থেকে RHK পুরো হতাশ করা একটা স্কোর ভাই ওদের খেলা হচ্ছে না ভাই
And what looks like a very dire situation looks to be something that is in their control. They're not dead quite yet.
Hotshot is still alive. Hotshot might repeat this. They got second place.
Evos এবার ভইয়া নেব Evos এবার ভইয়া বের করব
It's only Fluxo. Evos and also Hotshot left on the top 3 placement here. Hotshot has to fall back. Not looking to into the position. Meanwhile, Fluxo waiting for that third party. Rasha jumps in. Nice shot on towards action with the AWM up. MT7 stole down. Game God goes down towards MT7. Kochi gets towards Hasu, but MT7 pushes
কোথায় হবে না Evos ভাই পুরো মানে একদম র রাশ খেলে
has to fall back. It's dangerous for them to be outside.
ভাই ইজি Evos এর কাছে এখন ইজি ভুইয়া Evos ভুইয়া নেব এই ম্যাচে ইজি Evos ভাই দেখছো টুর্নামেন্টে দেখছো ভাই স্টিল ভাই
just delaying that rotation quite yet, allowing for these two big teams to fight. Kochil moving away for his
ভাই টুর্নামেন্টে ইজি না দেখছো একটা প্লেয়ার পিসি ওয়ার্কআউট করলো একটা লাস্টে
Esports, this is the time to shine. Sajid, a booyah for Evo's Divine. Denied over and over, but finally, they clinch it.
After a
devastating loss on Falcon ভাই কিছু একটা করবে আমাদের RHK এর উপরে
Sorry, game number 3. Now game number 4. Esports finally
আমরা ভরসা পাচ্ছি না বাংলাদেশটা খুবই হতাশ
Booyah rankings.
It's looking great right now because in terms of eliminations, they were definitely one of the highest. They're aggressive. They're a team that is so proactive in terms of movement and also getting that space in that circle. This is a team that is surgical and knows what they want. They prioritize a lot. I think for them personally, they love taking up space first. That prime area circle means that they are able to really abuse all the other teams trying to get into the area.
The White Tigers celebrate their first ever booyah here in EWC 2025. And Russia with the AWM, that is something to be praised of. And with that, I believe EVOS would be on top of the overall table.
Be very exciting. I mean, looking at the fact that Falcons, looked very strong earlier today, but the readjustments coming in from many teams. I think everyone's starting to get really hot. The momentum is definitely there. But for now, let's have a look at the highlights before we go back to the panel.
So Fluxo started off quite okay, but towards the end, they could not manage to actually close the game properly. Falcon Limit tries his best to hold on as long as he could, but sadly Falcons could not do so. But however, that is game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go to break, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back right after this.
We're about to enter one of the habitat, the hibernation area of one of the pro players for Free Fire Esports World Cup. Let's go in. Looks like they are not here. What a beautiful nest. Well kept, I can say. So we can know that one of the players for Free Fire is a very neat freak. You can see that the nest is very clean, very straight. This is maybe the observation area where they could observe the kingdom of stone here in Riyadh. What a magnificent view. The creme de la creme, the survival area of the habitat, the pantry. Our pro players cook their meal. So quite civilized, I could say. And a fridge, I do not dare to open. We might not know what unknown beholds behind this fridge.
We're gonna move over into the player lounge to see the players truly take a break in their natural habitat. Come on. We gotta be very careful to not distract the players from truly taking a long break. Keep in mind, competition is always going to be tough, mentally taxing. So therefore, with only the best that can be provided for them, they won't take anything lower than suboptimal. Coffee, caffeine, everything a player needs to keep them energized, tough, and most importantly, mentally sharp, especially when they're in the game. Here, we're by the snack station. We've got our workers hard at work making sure that they are filling it up every moment. If it's empty, how are these players going to refuel themselves to keep themselves at the top of their game? The Esports World Cup ain't skipping out on nothing. Come on over. They're not around. At least we know that players, especially at the peak of their competition, when they're done with the games that they want to play, they still are challenging themselves mentally. One of the most important sides, whether you're a mobile gamer, a PC gamer, or even a console player, everything is provided here for the player lounge for all of their needs to make sure that the competitive level always stays at its highest peak. Look over here, we've got our PC segments, 2 rows of PCs. We've also got one of our hosts over there trying to be part of this, trying to be part of the player habitat. It's crazy. No, we can't disturb them. No, come back. And right here, we've got the broadcast playing for each of the games. Free Fire is going to be coming on real soon, but we don't care about this right now. We're going to have to take our time here and be very careful and very sneaky. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching.
I gotta get out of here. I'm in grave danger. I think the players have caught on to what I'm doing. I gotta go. I gotta go.
No animals, nor players, nor hosts were harmed during the shooting of this video.
Tujuh orang. Kita kanan ini gas yang dekat. Sekarat banget. Supernya sekarat, kenok supernya. Ini satu orang nggak bisa keluar. Gas aja, nah satu lagi. Woi, kalem boys. Kontol bocil gentot anjing bangsa. Let's go boy.
Evil's Divine are tired. They don't want second place. They want first place. And what did they get? They score their very first booyah. Team looking really happy, especially through their player cams, as well as their communication. They knew they were very, very close. And obviously the hard work, it did finally pay off. But is it going to be enough to keep the mentality for this team? We've got a lot of things to talk about here, folks, because that game, it wasn't just a simple case of EVOS going crazy, getting all the eliminations and just winning the game. There were a lot of other things that we had to talk about. Firstly, Neptune, I want to start with you because we had an interesting conversation whilst watching that game about Falcons. We've noticed a trend, which we are now going to be calling the Falcons exit strategy. Explain to the viewers what this actually is.
Yeah, I mean, for Falcons, every time they lose a player of 2, they have an exit strategy. One pulls away real quick. Like Launchpad is available, you will be able to pull away, and one deals with this as the distraction. So there's plenty of time for them to go for the revive, and then they recuperate and come back stronger. And it happens, if it happens in the early part, then they'll be able to get like to the final 3, or if not, get the booyah like what we've seen in game 1 and 3. But unfortunately, in that final match, they were just taken out a little bit too late twice, and they couldn't just come back.
And Raja, you want to talk about hot shots. This was a team that you are very interested in. And of course, our wonderful guest over here, as you can see, unfortunately does not have a microphone, so we won't be able to converse with our guest. But talk to us about hot shots, because this team has impressed us today.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. Actually, I think none of us was expecting this, but it's a really good surprise. But I'm a little bit worried about because it's one more team to, be worried about. I don't know, thinking that I'm cheering for Brazilian teams, but well, they are doing a really an amazing job. They are catching pretty good eliminations, and they keep getting up into this format. I don't know how to explain this actually.
The consistency. I think that's the word you're looking for. The consistency for this team is actually really starting to stand out.
Yeah, so we keep like looking at them in the end of the match, and they are like still alive, and they could like eliminate one player from Fluxo, which it was like more comfortable because he was in he was kind of hiding, and then he just got the elimination, which it was very cool.
It was a very smart hiding spot though, right? I mean, Neptune, you saw it's on the low ground, and when you're prone, sometimes it's hard to see players there. And I mean, if you see another team hiding behind a glue wall, you're gonna go after them first, aren't you? You're not gonna run around and look for the person on the ground.
Unless,
exactly.
Unless you're the only ones, like the only player remaining. Yes, that's when other teams. But with the distraction that Fluxo really did in there, so I guess that gave Hotshots that opportunity to hide out and then just grab the second place. But one thing I would say as well for Evo's Divine, I guess their strategy is working this time around. We saw, and we discussed this even while the matches were playing, that the split that they're doing, the 3-1 split, yes, it's favorable from the beginning somewhat towards the end, but if it's the final battle of 4v4, it wouldn't work. But this time they slowed it down. They know how to deal with each player, and they just stuck together compared to Rasia just going along and being chased by the rest of the team.
Yeah, and Raja, I think we also talked about this a little bit behind the scenes, where EVOS they played slower this game, right? They started the day very fast, lots of eliminations in the early game and even into the mid game. But for this round, they didn't look for eliminations until what, the 4th or 5th circle, which is really late for EVOS, but it worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean they kept in the top 3. Yeah, so I don't know. They have kind of different strategies, but it keeps like working for them for some reason. They are like having a really good day. In my opinion, it's one of the best teams. Of course, we can watch we can see this at the overall ranking. So EVOS appears like in the first place.
I mean, they deserve to be up there. They worked incredibly hard. They've secured basically top points almost the entire day. The only reason Falcons fell down was because this was the one round they kind of fumbled the ball there too.
Yeah, I mean, we also talked after the previous match wherein Team Falcons is leading because of placement point, but elimination-wise, EVO's fine. And now, since they were surviving a little bit longer, Team Falcons was struggling, so they can still continue on and getting all those elimination and sticking together. 4-man strong, definitely a booyah. Up to the number 1.
Well, I mean, the Falcons really care as well. I mean, you don't really need to sit in number 1 because it's just the knockout stage. Moving on, because we are getting ready for our next game, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to give the players a bit of a quick break, but we do have, I believe, the SNB head-to-head, because that's where Gideon is. That's why he's not here. Hey, Gideon, show us the head-to-head.
Of course, the head-to-head, the rivalry has already become most people wouldn't have expected. 2 Southeast Asian teams to look for first spot, especially between Group A and as well as Group B. I'm talking about the rivalry that you guys have been talking about. It's EVOS Divine as well as Team Falcons. Now, it's a hefty battle, of course, but it's really a battle of the mind. The 2 IGNs that are setting themselves apart here, I'm telling you, Peter is a monster when he makes his aggressive calls, but AimGod sees everything. That's the big problem that we're seeing from these 2 teams. Too many factors are coming into play. When we consistently see them make it to the final zone, when they've got momentum pushing them forward, not to mention a beautiful arena to show what they're going for here. This trophy is looking good, and I'm sure these players are ready to go. We're going to throw it over to the casters for map number 5.
Alright, going
into game number 5. It's gonna be next Stera, and as said by our panelists, as said by Gideon as well, EVOS is looking very strong on the first plate with 78 points. Highest elimination among all with 43. And another honorable mention, usually on the first page, but this time around,
I mean, AJ had highlighted them in the first map about how, how the coach is a brilliant coach, how he's able to lead the team forward. They really want to be able to make up for past mistakes before as well, coming into this tournament. And for them, going hard, going hot now to be able to launch them forward to the top 12 is the goal. And from there, they're hoping to ride that high into that grand finals, granted, because also, we also have that Champions Rush, a change in format for this year's WC.
Alright, some last words, some prayers from our EVOS Divine team from Indonesia. They really wish to maintain on that first place. Would actually secure them the slot towards the point rush stage. Again, it's not about being first place here on the group stage. It's about surviving to be on the top 12.
Yeah, you want to make it to that top 12 as well. And I think that also has those challenges because you don't want to get knocked out very early. EVOS Divine is great. I mean, I think the panel, brought up something very interesting. Raja especially mentioned that for EVOS Divine, them changing up the pace in map number 4 from a more aggressive, fast approach and now finally a slower one, getting active on, circle 4 and 5 for the previous map. It paid off for them as well, but regardless, it's still high in terms of eliminations as well, which is why they're able to overcome Falcons. Falcons, they rely a lot on those placement points. They don't get super active super early unless really good. And I think that for EVOS Divine, they're understanding that value you get from the points you get from those kills, from those eliminations, really, putting them on top of those placement points as well to really launch themselves forward. They have quite a sizable, not super sizable, but enough points to just really, maintain that lead a bit more.
Yeah.
If this trend continues today, EVOS will be so far in the lead and teams are going to have so much trouble stopping them. Someone needs to slow them down.
Yeah, someone really needs to slow them down. Meanwhile, I would like to talk about the Brazilian teams. Yeah, Team Alpha 34, Team Fluxo, and Pain Gaming. They are not doing very well.
No, they're looking great right now. They were slow in the beginning of the day, but after that they found their momentum. It was a Rubik's Cube for them to be playing on the international stage. You're playing outside of Brazil. It's a whole different ballpark when you play with players from Southeast Asia as well. And they finally figured it out. They're looking great. Not quite there yet in terms of a booyah, but they're starting to build that momentum, and that is super important to watch out for.
Yeah, in contrast, Alpha 34 and Team Pain, they are struggling. We can see their struggles from game trying to fight against Team Core Memory. Alpha could not actually get that duel against Team Hotshot. So if they could not find that particular strategy to fight against the Asian teams, Alpha 34 and Pain Gaming would have, as said by the team, a hell of a pain time.
Yeah, I mean, Pain Gaming, they did have a few, I think, good ideas in the bag just now. I mean, they wanted to become gatekeepers outside of that circle itself, but what they didn't expect was that all the teams just really rallied to them. When you're cornering a beast, the beast is gonna bite back. They're gonna fight back, and they were expecting them, a lot of these teams, to go that aggressive, and they were overcome in that particular moment. I think in the last map or so. Now, I think what's really important about Alpha 34 here is that I think Raja mentioned that for this team, they are the underdogs. They're a team that we're not expecting to be here. They were shocked to be here, in fact. And, for them to get this far, they need to remember that they deserve to be here. Maybe it'll take some time for them to figure out the styles of play from LATAM, from Southeast Asia. But after all, if you're here at EWC, you definitely have what it takes to be at the top. So I am really excited to see what Alpha 34 can present to us as a team who are not expected to be here on the big stage.
ম্যাচ খেলতে পারবে তাহলে দেখতে যা মানে ওর থেকে আর এই থেকে ভালো প্লেয়ার বাড়বে
কি জাম্মা দেখ হচ্ছে এটা পাবজি জনাথন গেমিং ও ছোট কালেতেই শুরুই করেছে আইফোন 5s দিয়ে
তাহলে
তখন এতি
but still
RHK এটা ঠিক হয় না
teams and
RHK ভাই ও খেলা পারে
years of experience playing on an international stage. It's something that to me overwhelmed them in a sense, holding their ground very well, especially on game number 1 and game number 2. I could see them in the top 12 later on in our game.
Oh, I completely agree with you. Redhawks look really good right now. They started off strong. I think in day number 1, I'm really hoping that they're not a day 1 wonder here, because that's usually the case when you get chopped off guard on day number 1. You see all these teams really shine, and so you get outshot on day 2 as more teams start to get into that momentum, get into that groove as well. But Redhawks look good. They've been, like you said, they've been able to hold their ground. But right now, the problem is whether or not they can hold on to that momentum. Because they're getting knocked, I wouldn't say they're getting knocked early. It's toward the middle of the pack. I wouldn't say it's terrible per se, but you did make a big point here. This is a team that is debuting on the international stage. This is a team that, barely has played with in the international level. This must be very, very new to them. The different pacing, the different styles of play. Yes. They need to adapt, and so far they've been doing great at doing that.
Yes, that is true. Meanwhile, for especially for the Mata team, I've yet to see them shine, especially Vision System SPA. We've seen time and time again, they try to go for that early game fights. They try to try to take early game points, but apparently it's way too many times Vision System could not fight the opposing team, be it from Asia, be it from Brazil itself. They still struggle in all 4 games. Meanwhile, for the other Thailand teams, Core Memory has shown us a few moments where they are looking very strong. But however, once the game turns goes into mid-game, they fall off real bad.
I mean, the mid game can be quite chaotic. It's a situation where a lot of rotations are happening. They need to be able to win these fights. But regardless, out of all of that, EVOS Divine has been doing really good when it comes to their fights. You know, we saw them box into a tent, and you would have thought other teams would just collapse into them. What do? They counter back with their own blue walls, playing those micro angles, finding a nice low ground angle to just really shoot on top of the terrain as well. And then quickly the team just breaks out and just collapses. And I think it's great communication coming from this team. And we know exactly how these executions are going to go.
Alright, we are still getting ready to our game.
এখন সবসময় টুর্নামেন্টে আগে এন্ট্রি নিতে হয় না, আগে এন্ট্রি নিলি কর
Vitality?
সবাই মিলে
Oh, they are.
After game number 4.
I mean, Vitality, you can show they're really struggling on day one today. They haven't found their momentum. They couldn't really win those really crucial fights. I mean, AGA and Husky did mention in the first game that Vitality were supposed to be the Falcon Hunters, and they ended up being the team that's being hunted here. I feel like, yeah, up in the beginning of the game, they got a bit aggressive, greedy. They tried to change up the way they played. In the previous map, they were one of the earliest teams to get into that circle as well, and still they were eliminated. I think I remember from a Malaysian caster, Abi told me, if you're really holding into the middle of the circle, you have to be really strong. You have to be teams coming in from left, right, and center that are going to be just collapsing onto you. And unfortunately for Vitality, perhaps that is not the move because they weren't able to really maintain their position. Perhaps the later rotation, perhaps making playing toward the sides of the circle might be the way for them, but I'm not sure. We had a bit of a break. I'm really hoping that Vitality did figure out what exactly has been the biggest problem that they're facing today.
The reason I'm pointing this out because Vitality is not a new team here. Previously, they were called Bigatron Delta, then acquired by Vitality. Now it's Vitality. This roster is a very experienced roster. They have played on international stage, on Southeast Asia stage so many times. So every time when I see Vitality falls off, I question myself, what happened to them? Because I assume that due to the existence of EVOS India bout, they might want to, step up their game. Okay, we got EVOS here. We don't want to be in their shadow. Vitality, let's go up. But apparently, for all the 4 games that they have played, nothing can be said about them. Maybe one good game on number 7 on the 3rd game, but after that, Vitality struggles to get points. I believe they are currently on number 10 with 18 points. And that is not something you see from Vitality actually.
I mean, the great thing about Free Fire is that anything can happen. You can have one really good game and just immediately get launched all the way to the top side of the scoreboard. Granted that the lead has not been super huge, and that's fine. I think this is a day one problem. Day one is a day that I feel and I still believe is the icebreaker day. A lot of teams are still struggling to get to know each other, understanding what the drop spots are, understanding how rotations are going to go, and understanding the different metas that are coming into this game. I know that the conversation with Natalie, right, about how the metas are, through so many different regions, not many can adapt real quick. Some of the teams that have been adapting today has been EVOS, Core Memory to an extent as well. And Falcons are doing really good at that as well. But, for the rest of the teams that are still struggling, honestly, day one is where I would say that's fine. I mean, you can really take your time to really figure things out. And, after the day ends, you can go back, VOD review, figure out what went wrong. Was it a breakdown in a miscommunication? Was it the comps that were just not working out? Did we have to work on how our execution is? Was it our rotations? That is where things you have to really talk to each other to figure out. Regardless, I think while we wait for the teams to ready themselves, let's go back to the studio to have a chat with the panel.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Tash and Advance. Yes, folks, thank you so much for being patient. We are still trying to get into that game. Bear with us because you can have a little bit of fun with us on the panel. Gideon, welcome back. You were looking a little cute before, just
thanks.
A little yellow maybe. But
Of course, only natural. It's my favorite color.
But we are getting ready to jump into this next game, but we do have things that we can still kind of address, right? I think we still have that top race for top 2. We have EVOS and Falcons fighting up there. We have Fluxo still trying to make their comeback as well. We have Hot Shots started to come in, guns blazing, and really being a dark horse. Are there any other teams that we kind of want to highlight that have the potential to maybe sneak on through towards the upper end of that rankings here? Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, Hot Shots. I'm pretty sure Hot Shots
Jony,
want to be
clear
overtaken
dilo buza couple Discord e join de to ছাড়বা দিতে আমাকে বাইরে করে দিস প্যানেলে রিকর্ড দিলাম দাদা আমি Discord এ প্যানেলে রিকর্ড রিমুভ
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I need to translate to the Brazilian players because I'm not really sure if they can understand what the player from Hot Chat just said, but I will translate to them and then maybe we can start a real fight.
Oh, so they don't know they got insulted. Okay.
I don't know if they will approve it because I know some of the players and they are not that kind of. Sometimes they are kind of angry, you know.
Oh, okay. So they need a little bit of heat. I mean, Gideon, you were telling us just now in the casters area that the stage is
very, very cold. But at least from the players' perspective, as the breaks were going by, you can see that the players are going jackets, they're prepared. You can tell those who are really eager, those who are like sitting, playing with their chair a little bit, sometimes playing with their fan, no jacket, no nothing. And you can see it in their eyes. There's heat there. There's fuel behind them. There's a lot of gas as well. These teams are extremely motivated to try and outperform themselves throughout each of the because I feel like I've started controversy and I was in the center of it. I'm like, what have I done? What have I done here?
It's okay. If we get any complaints later, we'll just reach out. Don't worry, we got you. But Neptune, though, as we game number 5, what are we kind of expecting moving forward? Is it really just going to continue to be this race that we're seeing at the top of the leaderboard, or do you actually feel like some of these teams that are a little bit slow just because we do see this sometimes. Teams just
এটা হচ্ছে ধর একটা ইউটিউবার মানে ইউটিউবার বলতে মেন হচ্ছে যে সময় টিভি যেরকম তানভীর ভাই আবার ইন্টারভিউ নাই সেম কিছুটা এরকম টাইপের
other teams. It's only a few teams that really take advantage of the chaos in the beginning, especially in what we've seen Falcon do.
হ্যাঁ মানে ওইরকম কিছুটা
they can bring in a lot of elimination.
হ্যাঁ দেখেছি ও ভিডিও ছাড়েছে সময় কি জানি
that time to study their rotation, they need that time to study their opponent, and guess Fluxo as well is one of those teams. Now going into the overall rankings right now, and Hotshots currently on second place or third place rather, and Core Memory was able to catch up earlier. So let's see if that is something that
Team Falcon কোন এদিকে বাংলাদেশি
Can we talk a bit about Core Memory, because I feel like we just are not seeing them on the screen, but look at them on the leaderboard. What's going on with Core Memory?
I think it's because they are not like that consistent, you know. Sometimes they really do great match, and sometimes they, I don't know, they just don't
ঠান্ডা মাথারই খেলা জিনিস তোমরা জিনিসটা বুঝা
so maybe it's like a hard time for them, not that much because they can appear at the top 5, which is really cool, but we need to see if they can keep inside of the top 5.
I think a lot of their strategy revolves around the map, right? Because initially I thought maybe they had something against some of the Brazilian teams that they arguably even 3, but then ended up losing that fight specifically against Fluxo. So that's 3 maps and 3 times that they've clashed with each other to predetermine whether they make it into the top 8. But then we see map number 4 that we see a bit of a divergence, right? We see them drop on the complete opposite side, completely avoiding majority of the team. So I do think that it boils down to, yes, consistency, but at the same time, map presence, right? Which begs the question, what will happen during map 6, especially since it's the brand new one?
Yeah, I mean that's something that has been thrown in the mix, and starting that when Solara has been introduced, everyone is in chaos. But going back to Core Memory, I think the Cougar knowledge, the knowledge that Cougar has from Team Falcons is something that's helping the team to really maintain this momentum, but not so much at the top.
So, do you think? I mean, we're game 5. We're gonna leave game 5 because I do want to continue this map 6 discussion, because I'm so keen to see what's going to be happening when we have inter-regional teams playing on the new map. Raja, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think the Brazilian teams are ready to play Solara?
না ও গ্রুপ থেকে গেল
I
কেন
mean, I think they probably are like studying other teams because we are not that into this
Can
map.
you say?
So it's even hard when you need to when you need to start a fight with like Asian teams, which they are really aggressive. So it's even worse, you know. But I'm actually not a huge fan of Solara.
Oh wow. Okay.
No.
How come?
I don't like that map.
Oh, you just don't like the map.
So if they don't do like a great job in this match, I will forgive them for sure.
I think I understand the standpoint of Roger because the players doesn't like the map as well. So she just puts herself in that position of players because of how close she is with other players, right?
I also don't like to play. I mean,
action needed.
I don't like that funny. I prefer like Bermuda, Nextera, or like Purgatory, this type of map.
Neptune, what's the consensus for Solara? What is it that makes the map so difficult to play? Is it just because it's so brand new and everyone hasn't really mastered all the mechanics yet?
I would say it's slide rails that has been spread across the map. So it throws up the strategy, especially if you're just going in for rotation. But I guess it's something that they need to adapt to.
আমি ফোনে খেলি চাইবি হলুদ খেলা ম্যাচ জিততাম
It looks like we are ready to jump into game number 5. I'm so sorry, Gideon. We're going to bring you back in later. But we're going to
বাঙালি কো ওর ক্যাম্পে যা দেখি ভাই
ফোনে খেলে তারে হাতে আইফোন দিলি 7 দিন প্র্যাকটিস করলে
EWC 2025.
ওই রকম মিস করে
Thanks very much,
বাংলাদেশে আছে
Danley,
কিন্তু
as
তারা
well as the
কিন্তু
panel. They
পাবে না
remembered our names this time.
এটা কি মেয়ে নাকি
For them. Now, coming into this particular
কান্তে
map
আজকে
is where a lot of people are hoping for teams such as Vitality or even Fuxo to just wake up, show us what they have to offer. But for now, it's EVOS Divine in the lead.
Yeah, let's get into game. It's gonna be next Terra.
বাঙালি সুপার বিনান ভাই আমি কি দিস
This map is that you can jump as high
বাঙালি পারবি না ভাই
and that
আমি লিখে দেব
আমিও লিখে দেব
বাঙালি
and here you go.
এবার দেখ
বাঙালির ধারে এত তুমি
ইশারা আসিস না আমার এসে থাক দেখ
It's about
আর
time for
এসকে সেন্ড
everyone
দেখ
to wake up.
ওর ক্যাম্পে যায় না ভাই
No more early morning grumpiness.
ও কিন্তু ল্যান্ডিং ভালো পাচ্ছে ল্যান্ডিং পজিশন খুব ভালো পাচ্ছে লাস্ট পর্যন্ত ওরা ফাইটে টেকতেছে
Right now currently on the knockout stage leaderboard.
হাইডেট না টিকলি ল্যান্ডিং করে লাভ আছে
ওটা 3 কোন গেছে আর কুত্তুসি কোন গেছে দেখ
78
ওই 3 টাকা নামেছে আর একটা উপরে
প্লেট নাজেদ ফ্লিগার আর কুত্তুস দেখ সিন দেখ ও ফ্যালকনের সাথে নামছে এবার প্রথমে শেষ এবারও প্রথমে শেষ যে স্কোরের সাথে নামেছে তো কি মাইটে
দেরি না এই যে হালকা হালকা নীল পানি কালার
ওইটাই তো ফ্যালকন 24 সালে ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ জিতা ভাবলে
Gio waiting for the right time, but he decides to push
টিম ফ্যালকন
But unfortunately for the rest of Vitality, they are not able to hold. The first eliminations happening quickly for Fluxo, and they are very, very decisive about taking this fight.
A very bad start here for Vitality. Koja as well is caught up by fire from Team Fluxo. So Koja has to fall back. He is retreating from Intellect Center. Now in this compound, it's going to be Fluxo and Core Memory. Meanwhile, we are hearing a knock by one of the players in our map. I assume that is the Broad in Grab Labs. As EVOS is interacting with Pain Gaming.
Yep, I was right. EVOS workout. EVOS
manages to actually get 1 point from Team EVOS Divine. I believe they are
knocked out very early.
Believing what that's now. EVOS
White Tigers in the map.
I don't think so. This is
they are.
This is unfortunate. They had really put a big target in it. But the fight's not over quite yet here.
What and white power. What and hello white power.
Don't fall.
White power try this.
Big kill onto a player there on the other side.
এবার যদি RHK কিছু না করতে পারে ওরে লাইফ ইজ গন
Trying to see if anyone's rotating over.
এবার টপ 2 তো ইজি
RHK কো লিস্টে তো নাই
ওই যে 9 নম্বরে রয়েছে RHK
quickly leaving away. They don't want to take these early fights and for a good cause.
এটা কত 39
They are falling back
29
28 unless core memory moves.
কি
29 না 28 স্কোর
Actually intersect with them. However, you can see that VSC Vision System
এই
PSA
ইভোস মোডে গেছে সবার সবথেকে রাশ এবার হয় টপ 2 করতে হবে না ভুয়া করতে হবে এই দুটোর ভিতর না করতে পারলে ভাই ওরে লাইভ গন
মানে এলই হয়ে যাবে ডিসকোয়ালিফাই মানে
না ডিসকোয়ালিফাই না কারণ ওরে
না মানে
এডি সুযোগ কারণ ইভোস যেখানে প্রথমে ওয়ার্কআউট হয়ে গেছে এই স্কোরে যদি পয়েন্ট না বাড়াতে পারে ভাই ওর গেম খেলার দরকার নাই
is real here for Evo's Divine. Now, looking back on how they play against Pain Gaming, they had that nice
ফাস্ট স্কোর দিতে ইভোস হ্যাঁ যে ফ্যালকনেক মানে ভুয়া মানে ফ্যালকনেক থেকে উপরে যায় এবার আগে পড়ে গেল
causes them to actually just not playing very well in that particular place.
ওর বেশি পারলে কি হয় ভাঙি পড়ে
না না ইভোস হচ্ছে পুরো রাশ স্কোর ভাই ওরে প্রচুর রাশ খেলে প্রচুর রাশ মানে রাশ আর ফ্যালকন হচ্ছে ঠান্ডা মাথায় যায় এতে আরএসকে কোনো কিন্তু সাইড নাই কিন্তু একটা স্কোর শেষ দেখ আরএসকে শেষ একটা দেখেছিস তিনটে বাজে রয়েছে ইজলি মার্কা স্কোর
You could not find this, you don't have any market. Box hunting towards Max and Maxi goes down.
এটা বাঙালি বসিরা স্যার খেলা দেখার জন্য বাঙালি মুখে লেওরা ভরি দিল
Actually fall back away from Team Fluxo and game number 5 Nextera Fluxo is on fire.
Yeah, they really needed that just really with themselves up. And for VSC, this is so unfortunate. They haven't had the hottest of starts and it looks like this trend is not stopping anytime soon here.
ইসবা নতুন প্লে হিসেবে দিলে মেলা ভালো খেলতাম আর জানিস
This
শুনে
is a great high angle they can play with as well.
তো কোভারে
Korja
থাকতো
access to this crate. They can
পাহিয়া না
get
পারে
the weapons they need and interestingly enough, everything has
কিছু না
started to
করতে
slow
পারলে ভাই
down
কিছু
airdrop
করার নাই
collected.
Yeah,
এই
has to
দালালরা
wait
দেখ কি
inside the
করছে
circle to
দালালের
unblock
স্টিমে যায় দেখ
the lock on that drop. Meanwhile, Hasu actually has a very good vantage point. Meanwhile, VSE has been eliminated right after he was Divine. So again, a very good day one here for Latin American team. Meanwhile, Hasu has been spotted right now with nice shot with that AC. So right now, hot shot. They lost that vantage point guard. Now they have to fall back and they are falling back with the jump pad, but they will not be left.
আজকে আমাদের প্লেয়ার আছে ওরা মনে করছে না বুঝিস
ক্যাম্পে গেলই না তিনটে ম্যাচ দেখছি
আমি যাবে না তো না তো বিষয় আছে আমি জানি যে একটা মানুষের অ্যাবিলিটি আছে
ওরে ক্যাম্পে গেলে মানে ওরে ইজ্জত
বাংলাদেশ থেকে আজ ভোদের মার্কা টিম গেছে
পলা পলা যে জোনের বাইরে খেলছে ওরে স্কোরে যায়
জোনের ভাই বাঙালিতে এমনি জোনের বাইরে যায় খেলে
জোন বুঝ দিবে স্ক্রিপ্টেড ভিডিও বানাবে বাংলাদেশে
হ্যাঁ কোন না বাংলাদেশের কোন দালাল আছে ওপেনে খেলে আমাকে এটাই বোঝা কোন দালাল আছে ওদের বেশিরভাগ দালালে জোনের বাইরে খেলে ওই দালালই পাঠাইছে ওই দালালের মতো
ভাই বাংলাদেশে
It's just that they just overstayed their
বাংলাদেশে
welcome.
পোলাপানে ফোন অত ভালো না
9 নাম্বার 8 নাম্বারে গেছে
zigzagging forward
আর
very
এই
live. It's time to go for the reset for the time being and he's gonna prep that
Red
knee,
Hawker.
hoping it's actually gonna hit onto
Red Hawker এর নাম আগে ছিল জানো
but his teammates are not close enough to fight him.
এখানে
He's
আমি
gonna have to go for his 1v4
চাইছিলাম যে
and it's a great
জব
play for
ব্রেকার
him to be able to isolate these fights.
সিধা মারা গেল জব ব্রেকার এখানে গেলি পারে ভাই
He's thrown at him with just too much and Virtus Pro finally get the last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, Sajid was lucky enough to revive all 3 other members that was
RHK শেষ তিনটে অলরেডি আই ওয়ার্ক আউট দেখ 10 নম্বরে ওয়ার্ক আউট সেকেন্ড স্কোর শেষ
Nextera plays that
আর চান্স পাবি না আরেকটা
হ্যাঁ 6টা ম্যাচ আছে না
heavily here
একটা চান্স পাবে তিনটা হবে তিনটা হওয়ার পরে তিনটা করে ফাইনাল হবে
realizing how they are playing they are realizing how Bangladeshi Free
10
Fire
নম্বরে
is being played so they are slowly
এরা হচ্ছে বেশি কিল করে এরা হচ্ছে বেশি কিল top
as we go
high damage
progress in day number 1
আরে এরা হাই ড্যামেজ
এই মান সত্যি হাই ড্যামেজ এর আগে থেকে ফাস্ট
high damage Russia the wonder kid
ফেজ দেখিস ভাই
and
সেটা সব ক্লিয়ার বাঙালি হতো আজ বোঝায় না
for the first one second
রেড হকার জিরো কিল করেছে
স্কোর কিন্তু বাইছিল ফুল স্কোর 1 সেকেন্ডে ওয়ার্কআউট
a favorable
তো এই গান্ধী মারছ না জানি বুঝিস ওয়ান শট
কারে কাছে ওয়ার্কআউট হলো
Just so many
যার
things
কাছে
happening.
হোক
This
ওর
circle is
খেলার
not
স্টিমে
necessarily the
স্টিমে
easiest
দেখো
either. It's all
ওর
the way on the other side of the map. A lot
ম্যাচ
of heavy
খেলবো
rotations coming through here. The first team to really
Guild-
quickly
Guild
get
Wars চলছে
here
নাকি?
is going to be Vitality. And I think that Vitality is looking good right now. They're taking
ওটা
their time. Yeah,
tournament-এ
they
দিয়েছে কিনা? পাঠাইছে
lost
কিনা?
the initial fight, but they're doing well surviving. They're taking
এ
their time. They're slowing
পাঠাইছে
it down. And I think it's good that they're able to realize that taking these early
এরা
fights is just something that's not
বাংলাদেশে একটা
beneficial to
যেমন
them.
হলো
মুভি ডাউনলোড হয়ে
টুর্নামেন্ট
গেছে
হলো রাহুল ওই যে বাংলাদেশে টুর্নামেন্ট হলো না
They're looking to try and find them
50,000
out, but the
ডায়মন্ডের
amount of pressure coming from Vitality might
Rahul?
also push them away for time being.
তারা কি হয়েছে জানি
ওই যে বাংলাদেশে 50,000 ডায়মন্ডের যে একটা টুর্নামেন্ট হলো না
Trying to find a
এই
place for them.
রেড হক আর এই যে
As you
ইরা
can see from the
চোরা
minimap,
চোদারা হ্যাঁ
Team
ওপেনলি
Alpha
বলছি
Alpha is,
চোরা চোদারা ম্যাচ
has put
মেজিং
a
করাইছিল
bounty onto
ম্যাচ
us,
মেজিং
Team
করে
Vitality. Meanwhile,
এক এক ম্যাচে 60টা কিল 74টা কিল সেই
was
সময়
caught
কেউ
by
কিছু
Payne
কয়
Gaming.
না
Motorway got
টুর্নামেন্ট
that point
লিগ্যাল
kill
ভাবে
for
খেলবে
the Brazilian team, and AGA
ফোনটা দিয়ে তো আমি কর দিয়ে
you
দিতেছি আমার সমস্যা
is
নাই
left here, and you is
কি
being
টাইপ
chased
ছিল
by Gus. Gus has an SVD. You really needs to find space to find time to revive the other members, but Payne Game is not letting it go. They are pushing forward. I can hear the Ferrari, the fast car coming in. Peter trying to find Dew inside Gravler, but Dew is way ahead away from Team Payne Gaming.
If you hear that car, what are you going to do? You're going to skedaddle away, obviously. That's a terrifying sound. Payne Gaming, this is great for them as well. I think they had a pretty rough start today. They weren't able to find the momentum. They weren't winning those really crucial fights. But now they are top. They're looking hot right now. They're not looking to really take these fights. They are really testing the waters on how far they can chase, but they're not really looking to pursue. They go into a compound. They're saying, okay, the lack of information means that we don't push into the compound. We don't want to engage their CQC and isolated fights, which means that we can stay intact as a 4 all the way till the end.
এটা ওই গান পুরো
Five
ফালতু গান
eliminations already, a bit
একদম
more of a quieter game, but I think throughout the entirety of the day, we have already come to a conclusion that Falcons love to get more of those placement points and survivability compared to these early fights, and I think this pacing still suits them, as expected.
EWC মানে
The
কি
way the Thailand team plays
EWC?
actually. There's that early slow pace, early game slow pace, then gradually it becomes faster and faster. Hot shot trying to get a hot shot on towards Team Falcons, but was met by limit, so that is a knock from Team Hotshot. So Falcons is now controlling back Rastown. Limit is still safeguarding, is still guarding for Team Falcons as they are trying to get into the new circle, and Hotshot made the right decision not to continue to suppress fire. Fall back, find another way to get into the circle.
Yeah, but Falcons suspects that they might be around, so they're lingering a bit longer here, forcing for Hotshots to go for a longer rotation. They cross, they might be spotted out by Kiroro, even Virtus Pro. They might be in trouble. And speaking of trouble, Chino knocked them already so quickly. Looks so they're looking hot right now. Big opening onto Chino. They want to look and just try and chase less, excuse me, but they haven't found anything quite yet. But it should be easy access to the circle for them.
You want to know something interesting? We have played for 5 games, and in all 5 games, Fluxo always interacted very well. The first 2 games, Fluxo didn't win, but the previous game number 4 and 5, right now, it looks like they are winning very well. Game 3, 4, and 5. So we can say that Fluxo finally knows how to take down AGAL.
Some time. Few maps to really figure things out here. Diamond is just unrelenting. It's putting a lot of pressure to the other members of Hotshots, and I have to say, this team has been quite unlucky. This map, you manage to get into the circle, you run into another area of a play hold. Excuse me. You try to rotate to another area, you run into another team, and I would really like to see them take this fight. I know they are a little bit more on the back foot when it comes to these aggressions, but I want them to really challenge these teams. Don't let them bully them away. And I think for AGL, here, nice shot into a player. Fluxo, really just take out the whole team.
একবার লড়ি গেলে সমস্যা তাতে এমনি সমস্যা করে না
but Gio can simply be revived soon for as long as Team Fluxo manage to find a vending machine. As the circle closes, teams and players are coming into the new zone. The ones that is still outside is, as you can see, Fluxo. That's still AGAL, Team Hotshot, and also Payne Gaming. Not so sure about Hotshot. They're not looking very hot here as they are being chased
being gatekept by Team Virtus Pro.
This is nice, honestly, because Virtus Pro is using this compound like a little shield and also a safe house, keeping the players of Hot Shots at bay. They're not able to break inside, and even then, the rest of Virtus Pro don't want to take this fight. It's a bit too early for them. They don't want to go for a 4v4. They want to go for these long-range fights, these pickoffs, and that's why they're looking to just go further into the circle, put a lot of space between them and Hot Shots.
Right, a few shots once towards Fuarak.
Widen the gap.
The new zone has been
copyright
and Vitality is
channel
already inside. And you can see from the north side of this camera, from the north side of our view, you can see Fluxo is fighting against Team Vitality. Kyong is now on the floor, but due to nice glue wall placing, Kyong managed to be revived back. Meanwhile, Fluxo still on 3 members. Up to go for the first floor, maybe not disturbing Vitality on top. Wait for the next zone to close out.
Just biding their time here, that boxed in. If say that Vitality choose to push into their area, this could be ridiculously hard. The CQCs, the corners that you don't check. Already getting knocked down of his own here. But Vitality's looking to get a bit more adventurous. Check out the other side, poke their heads out, find nothing. And now they're trying to just block the players off the team inside, really take away that space and make a little bit more area of hold for themselves. Already in the middle of the circle here, they're so close by to Falcons, and you know how devastating it can be if they go up against this team. They're already putting in the pressure, and they're looking to just really hide away, heal themselves up to full before they fully commit to this 4v4.
Vitality is not in a good spot actually. A lot of wide openings in the compound that they are having in. Focusing 2 teams actually. Vitality and Fluxo. One shot. It's being hunted down by various teams actually. Pakistani team is not looking so good. Only half of AGAL is actually facing the same fate here. Could not make any move. Meanwhile, Pain Gaming jumping in. They are now aggressively pushing towards Team Falcons. Peter has to come back into the compound. Eliminated all of the glue walls here from Team Falcons still outside. Finally, Noda is in. Is down by Mosopea. And Gus looking very low here. Has to stop for a while to find time for Madkins. Meanwhile, coming in to join the between Pain and also Team Falcons. In this
আরে ভুলো না একদম ফালতু খেলছে রেড ওকারের বদলে যদি জব ব্রেকার যায় তো মানে দেবী প্লেয়ার স্কোর যায় তো কিছু একটা এক্সপেরিয়েন্স করতো কারণ ওরা আগের থেকে খেলা প্লেয়ার রেড ওকার গেছে মানে ম্যাচে টিকতেই পারছে না সর্বপ্রথম বসছে
We were waiting for this team to wake up. We were waiting for this team to get a bit more aggressive, to be a bit more, to show a bit more what they have to offer here. As Falcons stuck in a corner, Peter left alone. One of the easiest things to do is to bring his team back into the game. The healer's up, yeah, but it's only a matter of time before the blue walls fall, before he gets completely chopped down by Pain Gaming. And Pain Gaming, even Mosabia is the last man standing here. He's alone, but here comes Core Memory. Luger knocked down already, tried to steal away from Vitality, but Vitality gets it. Steals away the kill, and Falcons this time around, they're not able to finish that booyah. Fifth time for them, but the fight is contested.
Finally, we see Vitality shine right after my comment, which is very good. So Vitality finally opened their eyes. This time around, let's do our best. Let's show them that Vitality is still alive in EWC. But right now, we are left with only 4 teams. Core Memory KOG. Vicinity Vitality, but at the same time, being careful of Team Fluxo, which is right behind that white bus. Core Memory trying to widen their position. Vitality still waiting for that moment to come out of their compound, waiting for Fluxo. Meanwhile, so they could catch anyone that is coming outside.
Core memory is doing great. They're out there in the open, gives them a lot more space to work with as well. But they're looking at challenge. They want these points because the players cannot move. They have the walls. They have the space.
আরে কথা শোনো, আরে মোবাইলে কথা হইতাছে ইয়া বুঝছো, আমি কই আমার মনে করো পিসি সব ঠিক আছিল, মনে করো চালু পিসি বন্ধ কইরা র‍্যাম ট্যাম পরিষ্কার করে আবার লাগাইছে। হ্যাঁ, আর ইয়া মানে মনিটর আর স্ক্রিন আছে
বায়োস ব্যাটারি খুলিতো কিছুক্ষণ রাখ চালু হয়ে যাবে।
হ্যাঁ
বায়োস ব্যাটারি খুলে রাখ,
র‍্যাম ট্যাম খুলে আবার লাগান ঠিক হয়ে যাবে।
আর বায়োস ও র‍্যাম খুলে পরিষ্কার করার পরে গান মারা খাইছে। বায়োস ব্যাটারি খুলে
র‍্যাম খুলে পরিষ্কার করে কিরা
তে খুলেই শালা র‍্যাম খুলে পরিষ্কার করতে গেছে।
না ও নতুন পিসিতে র‍্যাম খুলে পরিষ্কার করবে।
আচ্ছা বাদ দাও না, এখন কি করা যায় তো কও।
এখন দেখ বায়োস ব্যাটারি আছে সাইডে,
আরে না
ওখানে র‍্যামের ওখানে
র‍্যাম দেখ
এই হাজু তাক
আরে র‍্যামে তো
এই যে বায়োস ব্যাটারিটা ভালো করে খোল।
কোনটা
বায়োস ব্যাটারি
এটা বুঝি না এটা কি।
আরে দেখেন একটা ব্যাটারি আছে ওই যে পিসিতে যান, পিসিতে আর কি জানেন ওই যে নিচে দেন সরি ব্যাটারি সাদা
ওই যে বাম্পার কথা ওরির ব্যাটারি
পিসিটা করে লন কারেন্ট শর্ট
মানে মারুক তোমার কেউ বলে হাত দিয়ে ঢুকে
এটা খুলমু কেমনে
আর এটা টান দিয়ে খুলবো।
ওই যে কাচের মতন চকচক করতেছে এটা।
কাজ না এটা ব্যাটারি। আরে যে ঘড়ির ব্যাটারি গুলো আছে না, ঘড়ির ব্যাটারি গুলো
এটা রাকিব কাচের মতো, ঠিক আছে।
আরে ভাই আমি একটা ব্যাটারির মতন না, আমি এটা দেখতেছি ওই যাও কোন ওই যাও।
আরে হে ওইডি হে খোল
রে এত ভালো স্কোরের ভিতর এরাও ভুইয়া গেল, ঠিক আছে। আর ওরা সর্বপ্রথম মরছে।
আরে কয়দিন কথা কই হাওয়া
এর মধ্যে ভরি নেই।
এন্ড বল আরে বুঝতেছি না তো ডাব্বা ঢোকা কতগুলো দেখতেছি কোনটা।
রাকিব খোলা শিখাতে তো ওখানে একটা ক্লিপ আছে, ক্লিপটা টানি ধর বেরো যাবে না ব্যাটারি। দেখ ব্যাটারিটা
অফ করে লন ভাই, পিসিটা অফ করে লন আগে।
আরে অফ অন তো পরে অফ করলে তো আমার ওয়াইফাই যাইবো গা ভাই।
এই নি পিসি অফ করলে ওয়াইফাই যাবে কি?
পিসি কেবলটা খোল,
লাইনে তো
পিসি কেবলটা খোল।
টিপ দিলে অফ হয় না ভাই।
পিসির কেবল আছে, পিসির একটা কিসের কেবল আছে, যে কেবলটা পিসির পাওয়ার সাপ্লাই। আল্লাহ নুবা
সাপ্লাই যে কেবলটা আছে না ওটা খুলেন না লাইনটা।
ওইটা খুলবি কাছে, হ্যাঁ খোল। ও গেছে, ও নেট গেছে। আরে কোথায় আরে
পিসিতে নেট নেই নাকি
ভাই? না আমার কথা পিসির পিছনে একটা কেবল ঢুকায় না, 3P লাগে 3 মাথা আলা, ওই মাল খুলতে ওইটা খুলছে কেউ না ডিসকা কর হতো সব
মাল্টিপ্লেক্স সব খুলে লাগছে।
ওর এক মাল্টিপ্লেক্সে ওয়াইফাই লাইন আছে। হ্যাঁ
ম্যাচ স্টার্ট হবে আবার।
কয়টা করে ম্যাচ আজকে?
এই ইনবক্সে দিছি সাকিব ভাই।
রাকিব ভাই ওই যে রাহুলে একটা মনে করো ই ছিল, নাম্বার দিয়ে আইডি খোলা ছিল, ঠিক আছে। ওই আইডি হ্যাক হয়ে গেছে, ব্যাক এন্ড দিতে পারবা না।
নাম আরজিমেন্ট দিবেন আসলে
না না
নাম্বার দিয়ে খোলা ওটা কেমন করব? নাম্বারের কোনো অ্যাক্সেস থাকে না, হচ্ছে এরকম নাম্বারে অ্যাক্সেস থাকে কোনটা? ওই যে গ্লিচ হয়, যে বর্তমান যে গ্লিচটা, ওই যে আপনার কোড যায় যে
বন্ধ করছে তারপর
বুঝেছি। তারপরে হচ্ছে আরেকটা কথা হচ্ছে তোমার ধরো ও কোন নাম্বার দিয়ে আইডি খোলেছে ওইটি বুঝতে পারছে না। এখন ওই ফেসবুকের ইউআরএল দিলে পরে দেখে দিতে পারবা না কোন কোন নাম্বার অ্যাড ছিল ওই না আইডিতে।
রাহুল ভাই
হ্যাঁ
আমি পারবো না, লোক আছে পারে।
ওইটি হচ্ছে ওই যে ও কোড দাও তো কয় টাকা লাগে কেমন লাগে ওর সাথে বলো।
আচ্ছা আমি জিজ্ঞাসা করে বলবো না তোমার, আমি কি বলি আমার লিংক
all
দিয়ে
the regional dishes,
অ্যাকাউন্ট
food,
খুলে আমি ডিপোজিট
that's
করে
the
দেব।
love
দিয়ে
I hope you guys
আরে
will
ভাই
enjoy
ওখানে
on
খোল না রে ভাই,
camera.
খোলার অপশন আছে।
If you can,
ওখানে হাত দে,
please come here and share
at Esports ক্লিপ আছে দেখ,
Boulevard.
ক্লিপ আছে দেখেন, ক্লিপটা দিলে আমরা টান দিলে দেখে গেছে খুলে
Incredible game. Game number
সাইড সুডাকে
5.
ক্লিপ আছে নাকি দেখেন
Absolute chaos.
সবারটা তো সব সিস্টেম
No one knew what was going on. We didn't know who
Bye,
was
bye.
even the
কোনো
leader
clip
of
দেই না,
that
bye.
match. But we've got to break it
টান দে
down
বেটা,
for
টান দে,
those at
চাপ
home
দে,
because
কোনাতে
if we
চাপ দে,
don't,
বারো স্পিন।
I think we're all going to be a little bit lost
দেখেন,
here. But I think the
টান দে,
আমার টান দে,
first thing we have to
দে।
talk about is EVOS being eliminated by
আরে ক্লিপ আছে খেপা,
Gaming.
ক্লিপ আছে দেখ।
আরে এক সাইডে
Raja,
গ্যাপ
I
আছে
think you must be
গ্যাপে
proud.
Yeah, I'm really proud of all
আচ্ছা আমি কই
the Brazilian teams
সাইডে কালা
actually
কালা
because
জিনিসটা
they
শর্ট
played
উঠায়
really
পড়বো নাই
well in this
ভিতরে ডাইবো
match. Even Fluxo
আরে
and
টান
they
দে,
switched
টান
one
দে, ওই
player.
ক্লিপটা টান দে এক
They
পাশের দিকে।
switched
দেখো ওই ব্যাটারির উপরে আছে, ওইটা একটু ডানে চাপা দে।
So we can see
এটা
Prox
ভাগ কর।
playing for the very first time here at
ওরে
EWC,
শাওয়ারে।
and it was a really good
No,
match for
no,
them.
no,
So
no,
I think it was very positive. Like it was an additional, like Prox, it was an additional, and it was very positive. And I'm really proud of them. But well, Payne
ভাই
is too good too.
ব্যাটারির
It was
উপরে
good to
দেখ
see
মাথার
them
উপরে
playing.
কালো একটা ক্লিপ আছে,
And
ক্লিপটা সারা
they,
দিয়ে টানে টান দে
get a
মানে
bunch
ফাঁক করে
of
রেডি।
eliminations, if I'm not
কোনো
wrong.
ক্লিপে
Yes,
দেখছি না
they got
দাদা
a lot of eliminations,
ওই
so
কোনো
they got a
মাথায়
lot of
ক্লিপ
points for
দাও
that round.
কই
Sure,
দাও
they get the
ক্লিপ পাও
booyah, but who cares if you're getting so
Kondi.
many heads in the round?
এতে মাথার উপর
We also have to
ধরে
talk
আসার
about
মার দেখ ওই
Party
বাপ
in
ওইটি খুলে যাবে না
Falcons
একটা ভাই।
compound. So many teams stormed
Are
that
they
compound.
shallow?
Poor Falcons, they had the escape strategy Neptune. That
ব্যাটারি
wasn't going to work there.
ব্যাটারি
Like, where
থেকে
were you
ডিসপ্লে
going to
ইস্যু
go?
আছে
There's not so
না
much
মানে
to
ওই
do.
হয়তো র্যাম
Even
খুলি ছিল,
Peter was left in the
র্যাম
corner.
খুলিটা কি ছিল, আমি একবার
Not
খুলি এরকম
breathing
পট
at all.
খাইছিলাম,
Tries to
পরে
survive.
লাগানোর পর
He
মোটার
saw
লাইন আসে না,
everyone just,
পিসি ওপেন হয়, মোটার
roaming
লাইন দেয় না,
around, shooting each
এই
other,
ভাইরাস
and
ব্যাটারি
then
কিছু খুলে
finally
রাখলেও
being
ঠিক হয়ে
dropped
যায়।
out. And yeah, there's not so much of exit strategy.
উলে না এরা
That's what happens
ভিতরে
if
ময়লার বাল
they
ঢোকে,
loses out
যে
in
ওইটা
the latter
খুলে
part.
পরিষ্কার
And
করা লাগে।
also, this is the map we're in.
আরে হয় মাঝে
Towards the
মাঝে
latter
দেখা
part,
গেছে
there's
ম্যাম
still
জি র্যাম
8,
দিকে নিচ্ছে না
7,
অটো রিস্টার্ট
nine
দিতে
teams.
nine teams
ও
remaining.
পিসি
So
হুটহাট করে আটকা
that's a
জায়গা আমি
lot
আর
to
লেগা
deal with
খুলছি না
that. I don't think anyone
ওর
would be
জীবন
able to
কোনদিন
survive
আটকা
if
যাবে
you're
রে,
losing out
আম্মা।
in one.
পিসি কেমন
I think it
আটকা
all
দেয় ভাই
started
তোর?
from like ring 4 to 5, right? I
Holy
think that's
shit,
where we
yeah,
see
the
the
mouse
hard
does কিছু কাম
predictions
করে না
really come to life.
Keyboard, mouse.
Yes, we got it
full PC
correct. And on the
কোনো
opposite
তোর
end, we
সমস্যা রে জানি।
see just vitality. We see
আর
Hotshot.
কি বলা
Like,
রাখিস?
dude, we literally ran halfway across the map to make this, to win out on a 50-50. We didn't win out on that 50-50, but
এই
the
টুর্নামেন্ট খেলা
majority of the karmic
এর কি
damage the
লাগানো
universe
বিলা দিলে
somehow
সমস্যা
আমি
gives
আমি
to us.
আছি আমি
I think it
কোনো
must have been
আমি
like cumulative for all of
আমি
today.
তুমি রাহুল
Because,
ঠিক
yeah,
আছে
Falcons have been causing a lot
আরে
of
একটা
team
প্লেয়ার নিতে
issues.
হবে যে
It's
প্লেয়ার নিতে হবে।
everybody.
ওই যে কাম
আমি
টুর্নামেন্ট
খেলবো,
But
আমি
wins they
একটা
picked
team.
up.
তোক তোক নেব না ভাই, তুই খেলা কোন লাগান তুমি খেলিস।
আরে
And it's
ভালো
going to
লাগাই
be
আমি
a bit of a
জীবনে
chaotic
আসুন
one
প্যারা
because it's
লাগাই
the newest map.
তুই নিনজা লাগাই শালা মারবো না ধর।
আমি মজা করে কইছি আমি লাগাই কিছু
তোমার না থাকলে তো মনে হইতে মজা
It's a
করিস
brand new map. A lot of teams are
মা
still
ফ্যান
not
এক হয়ে যাবে।
comfortable playing on it.
ম্যান ম্যান
যাই
হতো
হোক আর
This
কি আর
might be
কোনো
a
এটা
map
আর
that
বলা
might
সারা
be
কিছু
for
নাই
some
না
of these teams because
না এটা
Dota
খোলা
Boy is
লাগবে
almost
ভাই, এটা
over.
খুললে
This is
তোর
the
পিছনে অফ
last
থাকবে,
match of the
তারপরে
day.
এটা
Last
আসবে
time
বাস
to
ব্যাটারি
grab
খোলা লাগবে।
points.
না ইউটিউবে দেখ যে ইউটিউবে দেখ যে বাস ব্যাটারি খুলে কিভাবে।
বাকি
ভিডিও
ব্যাটারি
আছে।
নাম
I'm not really into
Bios
Solara, but
রাহুল ভাই,
actually I think it can be
Bios.
like a good
বায়োস BIOS
it's not a star, but maybe
Also Ligas.
Brazilian teams
Bios.
can do what they just did in the last match, and then they can get more points. So I think it's gonna be a really important map for them, and they really need to play. So they need to do like Solara very very
কোনো
well.
কিছুই নাই ভাই,
Yeah,
দুইজনের
I do
কারো
agree.
কাছে
I mean, if the
দুইজনই
if
নিঃস্ব।
the momentum
It's a
of the
good
Brazilian
idea.
teams, as you
Yeah,
did
yeah,
mention, is
yeah.
coming from
ও দুই দিন আগে
slow
$20
at the
লস
beginning and then hard on
Nah,
the
but
end. And
this is
Solara,
really
I
good
think this is
কিন্তু
where they're going
আমি
to
এমন
bring it
ভাবে
on.
কামব্যাক
But
করব
there's a
আবার
lot of factor
পুরো
that
হেলা
could throw off even those
Hey,
এক
yeah,
লাগাও
regions apart
এমবোর্ড
from
লাগাও।
Southeast Asia,
Hey, yeah,
Brazil,
me
because
too,
there's
like,
I know there's also a few that doesn't have that
রাকিব ভাই
Solara
দেখিছো
map
হোস্টার
in their
দেখিছো এদিক
qualifiers.
দেখো
So it would be difficult for them to play against these teams.
রিভার হোস্টার
I
দেখিছো
can only imagine what scrims are going to be looking like for the most part
Johnny
because I
তো
think
দুই
there's
তিনবার
no real
করে ফেলেছে।
optimal strategy.
আর
I
তোমার
think for
যে
teams who
এই
like to play
সমস্যা।
inner ring, there's again
এর
a
এই
little
দেখে
too close for
for comfort, if we're talking about like the best cover possible, right in the center of the map, there are two giant hills, literally how many, if I remember counting correctly, 5 slide hills heading towards that center of the map as well, with not much line of sight to play with. Those are the main structures you want to kind of sit around with, and the problem is for inner circle teams being able to dominate that side of the map is going to naturally cause tension with other inner circles. Teams. And I think that's one of the big problems as to why some teams are like, yeah, maybe this isn't the best.
So maybe we're going to see a different strategy just because of the slide rail. So maybe instead of focusing on the middle, teams slowly come in from the outskirts, right? To make their way around, try to catch teams off guard. Maybe just focus on elimination points until maybe that fourth big circle when you start to figure out, like, okay, where are all the players and where's the free real estate? Where do you kind of want to be when you do get later into the game?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, slide rails, it's a good entry and exit strategy. It just speeds up your movement, but also it triggers that someone is using it. So definitely everyone would be on their toes. Everyone will be looking out on both ends of those slide rails, and it would be the downfall of a team who just don't rely on it so much. And we'll have to see, because as you did mention, there's still a lot of compound. Inner circle teams might be targeted, especially the TV tower, who's part of that, dead smack in the middle. So if everyone aims for that height advantage, TV tower has it. But there's also a huge risk that you'll be losing out.
I mean, let's also look at some of the teams that like naturally have played in really powerful positions across other maps. RHK being one of them. Hey, if it's Kalahari, you know exactly where they're going to be. And I think even for some of the Brazilian teams, right, there are power positions on the other classic maps where you always see them go to. But then when you Solara, it's just, hey, if you control that, all the other teams are going to get punished, but winning it is such a problem.
But then again, I just remembered, Booyah was taken by Team Vitality. And from Southeast Asia, they have been, or they crowned themselves, they dubbed themselves as the Kings of Solara. So,
Vitality.
Yes. So it seems like we might be seeing a back-to-back Booyah. Well, unless someone denies them of that.
Okay. So I want to hear more about the King of Solara statement here for Vitality. Why are they calling themselves that?
From Southeast Asia Spring, they were able to get multiple Booyahs. They are the board in terms of elimination. And it's because of all the chaos. We did mention it's new, but Team Vitality is also a new team in the mix of Southeast Asia. They just focus on what advantage they can use. First off, they targeted the top dogs. Hunter, they were the Falcons. And then Solar was introduced because no one dares go against the Falcons back then. Now Solar has been introduced, no one dares to study that new map, perfect their rotation while everyone else is in chaos. So they're just playing it aggressively smart, but hopefully they maintain consistency.
Yeah. Okay, I want to kind of play with the thought here, right? The fact that Solara is such it's uncharted territory for a lot of teams. Are we going to be seeing a lot of adaptability coming from some of the teams? Like, I don't think a lot of our squads have places where they just drop and say, this is our spot. I think teams are still testing where the good drop points are, especially the Brazilian teams, I feel, because Raja, they're not practicing on the map, right? So if you are untested on the map, you're not going to feel comfortable finding a drop point. I guess the biggest problem it's probably because they don't know the landing spots of the Asian teams. So this can be really hard to them to start a fight with a team that probably have tried this map before, and I mean, well, I don't know how to explain, but that's the very first time that they are here playing this map. So everything can happen, you know, like it can be good for them or it can be like not that good. I think it's going to be a little complicated because Asian team normally they don't like to fight each other, you know, like they don't fight face to face.
I just want to add on to that, right? Because again, if we're talking about adaptability and teams not having a lot of practice and it's their first time, we do notice that, especially for when new maps start to come in, a lot of people are fighting for a couple of the same spots. But I think that Solara is really unique in a sense where there are some hot places to drop. However, if there's too many teams, at least for some of the other maps, you can kind of divert off to find, you know, maybe not the best of the best loot, but enough to keep yourself equipped. That's not the case for Solara. It's pretty wide open and it's scarce enough where you can equip yourself with at least tier 1s, but you're never going to compete with some of the hotspot droppers within the map itself, meaning that fights are going to either A, two teams are going to battle it out, everybody else walks away, or B, everybody else who are just looking for eliminations with tier 1 loot is just going to go for each other's throats as soon as possible.
Yeah, I guess what Solara has to offer is similar to what we've seen in Nextera.
Yes.
In between the major buildings, there are a few compounds like that you can take. So you can, if you see someone and you're trying to avoid any fight, see someone dropping in with you, just split up, take those smaller buildings, and then just regroup. And I guess that's one thing that they don't need to focus on, just going straight and out 4v4s early in the match.
Yeah, and I guess I think we're going to be seeing a new meta develop for Solara. I don't know if you all agree or disagree, so feel free to share your thoughts, but I kind of feel the fact that we have this inter-regional tournament happening and we're playing on a brand new map. I think the different mindsets that captains have for their teams, I kind of feel like we might develop the Solara meta here at EWC. So we'll have to see what happens, folks. But we have just been informed we are ready for game number 6, Solara, our closing map of the day. We're going to throw it over to Tash Bunny and AdMath. Take it away for game number 6.
Last map, last game for day number 1 here for Free Fire at WC 2025. It's gonna be the newest map, newest addition to Free Fire. Solara. Everybody, it's gonna be Tony Hawks here as we are going to see players on that slide rails trying to either exit or enter from the enemy team. Let's see who will become the last booyah of the day. And if you guys want to know, from game number 1 to game number 5, all 5 games are booyahed by Southeast Asian teams.
Super exciting to see how they're really setting the momentum today here. Would love to see Brazil just really rally back, especially since according to the panel, Solara is what Vitality claims to be the kings of Solara here in Southeast Asia. They are the pioneer apparently, and they have really perfected how their rotations are going to be. And I would say that this is quite a hard rotation to play with, as Gideon mentioned, because of the rails that came through, right? You can Tony Hawk your way through. It's really quick on the rotations. You're definitely going to be caught off guard, especially on how fast you can move throughout those rails.
Right. Now, players are having their places, having their drop spot one by one. Yep, as you can see, Dix being the scaler boy right now here as ever living. Also drop, get some mushroom, get some MP in. And then as you can see, it's favoring towards Funfair as its midpoint. And not much can be said right here. I can see that Red Hawk is actually fighting against one player from Alpha. Other than that, no other team is intersecting one another, and it looks like Red Hawks managed to actually take down that player from Alpha 34, and yep, that is the only thing that we could see in this early stage of the game.
I mean, there's a lot more I can see right now in terms of draw spots, how everyone is just so kind of hunkered down in their areas. We're not really seeing these early fights like we did in the previous match. We usually see maybe 2-3 different teams dropping in the same spots right now, but everyone's being very, very cautious. Archway, interestingly enough, I think Vitality were the first team to drop there. They're so comfortable to take up this early mid-side area of the map, and now we did see those really early pickups. They're already back into this game. In terms of rotations as well, I think the only team that's really getting a bit more active around the map right now is slowly going to be Vitality. But for the rest, I think everyone just wants to see the circle shift before they fully commit into moving around the area.
Alright, we are expecting the game to be a little bit later. Here is the replay on how Liu soloing himself. He managed to get to Tush, but sadly, it's a 3v1. With only a double vector in hand, it's quite hard for a player to do a magnificent clutch. But that is the only fight that we are seeing as of right now. We're looking at Vision System, SPA, using the jump pad, closing in towards, I believe it was Team Falcon at Riders Club. Yep, Chix has a Carl 98, but Carl level 3 is still fine. He could still get damage in, but still not enough to be a fearful weapon to be used. So with Team Falcon exiting Riders Club, nothing can be done here from Vision System. They're a little bit too late.
Peter, ooh, nice shot to the face here. Noda quickly taking him down. Gus steals him away. Falcons on the back foot. Shouldn't be too long to bring his teammate back into the game here, but if anything, this team should be very happy to steal away one of the Falcons. They want to really stop the aggression, the momentum coming in. And for Pain, I think they've been doing such a great job today in terms of aggression, in terms of taking fights. In fact, they are the type of team who would really chase you to the ends of the earth if they really want your fourth. So be careful of this team.
Airdrop is nearby to Team Alpha 34. And they are not looking to take it just yet. Meanwhile, Red Hawks has entered Delta Isle one by one. Delta is actually occupied by Team Alpha 34. You can see R7 is spotted by Trika. Has to go with the M24 shot, but was blocked by a glue wall. Meanwhile, Funfair, the brightest and funnest place to be in. Solana is now being occupied by both Hotshot and also Core Memory KOG. Shots has been fired by the Pakistani team. Meanwhile, Core Memory stands spot. Where are the shots coming from?
A little hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of things happening right now. Linz managing to steal away a kill very early here. Again, these are not really full-on fights. Okay, hold that thought. This is going to be almost one of that. R7 brought back into the game here. Again, not really full-on fights. They're not really going on a 4v4. If anyone, everyone's just trying to reposition themselves. But that's a very, very ballsy move. Kutush left alone here. It's best just really, you know, cut your losses. Try and bring your team back into the game.
Alright, Nejat is the only member left here for Team Red Hawks, and apparently Linz could not get the final kill in. So there is actually one or maybe two eliminations here for Team Red Hawks. And Nejat really needs to run. Run, Nejat, run, as said by Forrest Gump. But in Free Fire. Meanwhile, Liu finally spots Nejat wide open. Only a glue wall here. Not so sure how many glue walls Nejat had. Finally in the clear, had to enter the building of Windmill. However, inside Windmill, I can see green, but no, Ninja goes down. Liu with the hurrah takes down Team Red Hawks at 12th place.
Lucky for him, wasn't able to run away from they chased to the earth as well, and Hotshots as well is another team to be knocked out very, very early. Two of these teams that we had praised fairly early had great potential today, not going to be able to live out their last hurrah and make it to at least the middle side of this game. Early night for them as well, but for the other teams, it's just business as usual here. Virtus Pro have been showing a lot of aggression, especially in this game. They see a moving target, they go and fully just commit onto this fight, and it's been doing a lot of dividends for them. They have 4 eliminations already on 7th right now, and they're looking to try and overcome where Hotshots and Pain are right now.
Oh, Warak been knocked by Team Vitality. The Kings of Solana finally gets one from Team Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro, meanwhile, is trying to go to a different position. On the other side of the map, the hub. You can see Pain Gaming facing off against Evolve Divine. 2 members of Team Pain is now no more. Milan Aimgod could still be saved here. So Indonesia versus Brazil. Gus and Motovia has a lot of work needs to be done. And it looks like Gus managed to find space to go and fall back. Trying to be the anchor here for Pain Gaming. Meanwhile, Motovia left alone, guarding Team Evolve, not allowing them to actually move out of their position. Rasha, that was knocked, finally has been revived back. Motovia got space, and this is the time for him to actually fall back, save more time and more survivability here for Team Pain Gaming.
It's just making it so hard for the team to really just bring themselves back online. This off angle is just ridiculous. He's fighting so many of them. I'm not too sure if EVOS had actually marked him quite yet. I think they do. He has a nice angle to just go for these long-range pickups. But for the rest of EVOS, they're looking to collapse, not allowing this isolated 1v1s. Aimgod with the rush forward here, looking to play that first contact. And Motovia quick to move away. He's so low right now, but I don't think that EVOS wants to push this issue.
Meanwhile, Gus trying to give space here for Motovia.
No, that is incredible.
For Gus, but Aimgod just pushes it in, and there you go, Gus gone. Meanwhile, Peter tries to go for his body back again, spotted by Russia, but apparently does not have the right angle to get that final shot onto his Peter. So Peter Pain Gaming falling back, sliding towards the bottom. Seeing spotted, Aimgod tries to aim, but his aim is not godlike here. So Peter survives and has to find a way to pick up Gus and Noda.
I mean, to be fair, EVOS did quite well, just really make sure they can survive, and it's a very aggressive play. You send Rush out super early. They were not expecting them to go super quickly and take these fights. And for now, EVOS are not done quite yet, because you have another team here. It's going to be Vision System, who is rushing forward to take this fight. And I think that EVOS, they love aggression, they love chaos. They put in a lot of damage to one member of VSE. Souza forced to just really take this time to just go for that reset. Blue wall set up, space given. Jota trying to his hardest to go a bit more aggressive, but he's gone and bit too much more than he can chew. The damage is done. Maxi tries to rally, but he's so isolated away from his teammates. The rest of EVOS are able to just play tag team with one another here. Kochil low, but his teammate is okay to rush up forward, go a bit more aggressive. Aim got for one. Russia finds one more, but Kochil as well will be traded. But still, EVOS here will be the one to be victorious in this skirmish.
All right, only one player left here for Team System SPA. The Latam team is not doing well against EVOS Divine, and EVOS Divine quite a hefty elimination right here of the game. Final against Team Pain Gaming, and right after that Vision SPA, they managed to rack in 6 points as of right now. Meanwhile, EGAL again interacting with Fluxo for the 6th time in a row. They never did not meet ever. So it's always EGAL, Fluxo, one way or another, one shot against each other. But this time around, you can see that EGAL is gatekeeping Fluxo very well, not allowing them to take the shortest route right here. Has to force Fluxo to maybe detour towards the back in order to be a bit safer, unless Fluxo dares to fight EGAL head on.
Interestingly enough, I think a lot of teams are going for these later rotations. Pain Gaming still not in the zone. You know, EVOS, even Vision System as well, are really taking their time there. But Fluxo using the spike as AGL is not going to be the easiest way to get into this circle as well, because you do have this team waiting in the compound. You have to flush them out. Bob's the first contact play. They were waiting for it, but they were so quick to set up those blue walls. Gives them a bit of space to reposition. But Chino and Dew, they bring devastation, and Fluxo cannot hold on. One by one, they fall. Double kill for Dew, and the rest of Fluxo are just running away for their life. But this shot from today has been incredible.
What a major mistake. What a bad decision, I could say, done by Fluxo. As I said, they could actually just rotate towards the back, avoid EGAL. They had the mini jump, but they can just mini jump away from the Thailand team. But nah, they wanted to fight. They wanted to try. Maybe it's because it's the last game of the day. I'm like, okay, why not? We try one last time. Maybe we can get points. But nah, EGL was like, yeah, give it on. Give more, boys, more. Yeah, 4 free points towards EGL. And that is that. Now, we're looking at EVOS Divine and Core Memory, KOG. EVOS now on fire. Might not know that Core Memory is camping here. Has to rotate towards the side from outside, but they have spotted Vision System.
10 points difference between Falcons and EVOS, and they're really trying to make up for lost time and points as well here. But we look up toward AGAL, who has their sights onto the other members of the team for Alpha 34. Tries to put those shots, a bit more pressure onto them as well, but you can tell that for Alpha 34 is super wary right now. Yep, hit some chip damage onto WMU, but not enough to take him down. So making sure they don't stay around alone is going to be key here, as the other members of AGL look to play a little bit more aggressive. Shinoy, I would say the Slayer for today, is doing incredible. He's putting in the pressure, Saifa rushes forward, but he has been enough door that he could chew. R7 eliminates him promptly, and the rest of the team now scratching their heads. What do we do? Our first contact is fallen. Are we going to back off, or are we going to press the issue?
EGL challenging yet another Brazilian team. However, they have lost Saifa and oh, Jony. Tries to go for the smart glue wall on the slide bar, but sadly China is not trapped on the balcony in front of members of Team Alpha 34. However, Liu and Luan goes down. R7 is doing as much as he can, but it looks like AGAL maintains dominance in the compound. R7 has to fall back. However, Baron puts her down. Nice shotgun. But the R7, but R7 again with the shotgun, with the clutch. R7 managed to get Luan in the same process. Now Review with the grenade will it however, Falconers coming. They are coming. The green Falcons is gonna go for the party. Now Dew all alone facing Falcons, facing Alpha 34, and Dew, but he found a hole by as well. Peter and on fire was hit by the car, and Dew finally has been gone down. Well, he's denied on his alive, and AGAL is now no more, and Falcons leaving at Peter, red color on the bar, being hunted down now by Pain Gaming.
The name of the game, and Falcons are doing it so perfectly, but limit falls. They're not done quite yet, but Pain Gaming is looking to put their hands into the cookie jar. Both of Bea and Luan get one each here, and Falcons cannot hold. With only one player left alive, no space to work with. On fire here all alone, not enough space, taking a lot of damage from those ice nades as well. Looks to reposition, he pressures an area, looks to push up forward, trying to break this blue walls as well. But if you break it, yeah, sure, you're out here in the open with so many teams on the outside. It's a very, very ballsy play, and he tries to make it work. Nice shifts, nice movement as well from both these teams. It's just a game of ring around the rosy here. On fire, Luan wins this. There's going to be Pain Gaming waiting for them on the bottom side. Both players forced to hit that pause button, and also Vitality wants a piece of the pie.
Alright, the king of Solara is now here. Let's see whether or not Vitality leads up to that title. Pain Gaming patiently waiting on the first floor while Vitality decimating Team Virtus Pro. Core Memory has been eliminated on the 6th plate, EVOS on 7, Virtus Pro as well on the 5th. Now we are left with only 3. We have Alpha 34, Vitality, and Pain Gaming, 2 Brazil, 1 Indonesia. Will we have another Southeast Asia Booyah as the closer? Or will finally we have Brazil slotting in on first day as one of the teams that gets the Booyah? Let's just see. Vitality waiting on top. Alpha 34, only one lone survivor left, and Pain Gaming has a lot of resources to play.
Interestingly enough, because the circle is shifting over the other side, every single team needs to be able to win this fight in this compound. If you walk outside there in the open, you are basically there's no cover. There's nothing to work with as well. And Vitality looking to just overthrow these two teams inside of the compound. The nades will be close. It does break the glue wall, but it doesn't really hit that mark. Motovia does eventually find one. Luan walks straight into his trap, and the rest of Vitality look to go down the balls. Jump shots all about. Peter is doing well to manage the aggressive, but Dick is going to find a kill of his own. Good trades all around for both of these teams here, and everyone is chaotic, and not a single player able to play with each other.
Vitality, Pain.
Every single corner is managed as well, and Peter, the gatekeeper of the outside of the compound, gets on so many eliminations, and a Booyah happened right out of the blue here.
The king has been dethroned. We have the new king for Solara here at EWC 2025. Booyah!
Last match Solara Booyah nilo, Pain Gaming.
After 5 games in a row dominated from Southeast Asia, we see the best rise here by the Brazilian team. And I think it's really incredible to see that it could have been anyone's game. That compound was so hotly contested. In order to rotate to the right, Pain Gaming, knowing how much advantage you can have by having a lot of control of the outside of the compound. With a lot of utilities thrown inside, they run for their lives, and all they have to do is wait for these players to walk outside with their shotguns with open arms.
You could see how patient Pain Gaming was holding the first floor, not allowing anyone to come back, because everybody was jumping in towards the second floor, because they know, okay, we have seen players on the first floor. Why not we just go on the second? Maybe we have a chance. And that is what Pain Gaming has done. They funnel everyone to the second floor, leaving a lot of space on the first floor. Nobody wants to be outside, because that's the only compound in that zone. And patiently waiting, patiently
Bangladeshir kotha ki jane, tournament khelte geche eti ore boro.
hearing shots from above, they don't care. As long as they are the final few teams left, that's when they shine. Once Luan stepped on Motovia's landmine, Vitality could not control them. Vitality was like, many people, what?
What's really great about Vitality, honestly, is the fact that they were able to survive for quite some time here. But the problem was they were just completely overcome. You saw how when Vitality came, a lot of teams were already anticipating their move. They were already anticipating for them to just, to receive them. And for now, let's talk a little bit more with an interview there over the stage. I wonder if it's going to be Carol. So let's see.
Let's go, interview.
Welcome to Amazon post-interview show. And wow, what a great match. What a great matches today we have watched from Evil's Esports. Congratulations, Guy. And we have here one of the players for Evil's Russia. Congratulations on today's matches. And we want to know, you were waiting for 1 year to compete on the stage because of the age regulation, of course. And now you managed to compete on the world stage in AWC 2025. How do you feel right now?
Jadi tentunya di sini congratulations atau selamat buat tadi di map terakhir. Dan tentunya di sini Russia sudah menunggu kurang lebih dari 1 tahun lebih ya, karena adanya batasan umur tentunya di WC. Tapi sekarang Russia sudah di sini gitu. Bagaimana perasaannya?
Menurutku sangat senang karena ini pertama kali dan ya hasilnya lumayan. Hasilnya lumayan bagus untukku dan mungkin kedepannya aku bakal nyoba lebih improve.
Of course, I'm very happy and Alhamdulillah, I think we have a good result for now. But of course, we are trying to be the champion and we're just trying our best tomorrow as well.
Well said, thank you. So you overtook Team Falcons but got eliminated early in Game 5. What happened?
Jadi tadi di game sebelumnya, di map sebelumnya berhasil mendapatkan buyah ya. Tapi habis itu di map selanjutnya lagi langsung early eliminated gitu. Dan Falcons kembali meretake. Itu apa yang terjadi di map kelima itu?
Mungkin kalau মানে ও হচ্ছে কোশ্চেন করছে আর এই হচ্ছে ট্রান্সলেট করতেছে kitanya kalah ya soalnya kalau misalnya gambling kayak gitu tabrakan
ini kalah into palayo.
I think we're just not lucky enough because like we take a gamble and we just lose badly in that map, so because it's a 50-50 basically in that series.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Okay, thank you so much for the interview. Good luck in the next days. And we have watched great action today happen here in the studio. And I'm more excited for tomorrow because we're going to have Group C hitting the stage. I'm Carol Bombshell and I will see you all tomorrow for more Free Fire action here at AWC 2025. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Carol. Welcome back to the panel, survivors. What a way to end.
ভাই এবার আমি কিছু কথা বলি, ঠিক আছে? ওটা কথা শোনা লাগছে না, হ্যাঁ? যারা বাংলাদেশি অডিয়েন্স আছো না, তারা RHK আর ভরসা করার দরকার নাই, ঠিক আছে? চুনা দেবে, তোমাদের মুখে মুইটা দেবে, ঠিক আছে? ওরা ভাই খেলা কি বুঝে ভাই? টুর্নামেন্টে মানে বাংলাদেশে, আমি তোমার একটা মানে লজিক্যালি কথা বলি, ঠিক আছে? বাংলাদেশে যদি রিয়েলি কোয়ালিফিকেশন হইতো, ঠিক আছে, RHK থেকে অনেক বেটার তোমার স্কোর পাইতে, ওরা টুর্নামেন্টে 100% কিছু করে আসতো, ঠিক আছে? যেমন জব ব্রেকার, আমি বারবার বলছি জব ব্রেকার বাদ দাও, যদি মনে করো এই তোমার হচ্ছে এই দালালের কোনো সুপারিশে যদি না হইতো, তাহলে দেখতা এই রেড হকার্স থেকে ভালো স্কোর পাওয়া যেত, যেটা হচ্ছে টুর্নামেন্টে বাংলাদেশে একটা কিছু করে আসতো। কিন্তু ওই যে দালাল সব ওদের, মানে মাঠ ওদের, প্লেয়ারও ওদের, খেলবে আর অডিয়েন্স তোমরা হাততালি দিবা, ঠিক না? সব কিছু লাইভে আছে, ঠিক আছে? যেমন এর আগে একটা বাংলাদেশে হচ্ছে টুর্নামেন্ট হলো কিছুদিন আগে রিসেন্টলি, যেটা হচ্ছে 50,000 ডায়মন্ড ছিল। ওইটাতে এই টিম হকার কী করলো, চিটিং করলো। ভাই চিটিং করে খেলে তো কি শিখতে পারবে? ওই যে চিটিং করা বলতে তোমার হচ্ছে ওই যে বাংলা ম্যাচে হচ্ছে ম্যাচ ম্যাচিং করা, স্কোর ম্যাচ ম্যাচিং করা, এক ম্যাচে 67টা কিল পারলে লাইভ আসি করতে, কোনো প্রুফ দিতে, 67টা কিল পরার পরে স্ক্রিনশট মারে নিজেদের সেই কিছু মনে করতো, ঠিক আছে? মানে আর কি বলবো, কিছু বলার নাই, ঠিক আছে? আর এদের ভকভক শোনা লাগছে না, স্টিম এখানে অফ করছে। আর এইসকে মানে এক বালতি সমবেত না, আর দালালের জন্য দালালের জন্য APUCK
তো টিম কি রাতে তো আসলে টিম কি রাতে আছে
অসুদা